I did make
That'd be
a
so
jig today too.
a jig, all right.
Yep, made a
What's
jig
it do?
to. Well, actually, I meant to bring it in. I guess I'm gonna have to go out and get it. But it's, uh, it's shaped like this, and you put the bracelet on like this, and it's got slices in it. And when you put the tailstock in it, it expands it to hold the bracelet so you can finish the outside.
Did you make
Like
that,
that.
or was that something that you bought?
I made it. I seen it on YouTube. I seen somebody on YouTube had one or made one. So I'll run out in the garage and get it.
That's a nice idea.
Yeah. My biggest problem though is holding it from the outside to do the inside.
Ha, I'm working on it. I know how to do it about 3 ways, and that's
Yeah.
what I'm working on is to how to do a demo and show it. Um,
The cold
all
jaws
three.
are a little too small or too big.
Okay. You're talking regular cold jaws, like the expansion on a one way
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't limit yourself to those plates. That's the key number one. Don't limit yourself to those plates. Um, in fact, I can't afford to go buy a sheet of plywood to get 2 pieces I need. Um, but if you had 2 squares of plywood, fair grade plywood, doesn't have to be cabinet grade, fair grade plywood, and you put the plywood on those face plates, and you got to cut the first one or both of them really in 4 pieces. You put it on, you anchor it to it, and then you put the second one on top of it. And when you open it, you'll open that, you control that ring width that you need. And once you have that width, you get where you're at, you take a parting tool and you just take out the ring. So it's holding which you've already shaped the outside on. And then you can slip it in there. It's kind of a back end thing. Let me back up a little bit more. All right. I want to take a block, a regular block, and nothing magic, just a block of wood. And you see those circles? Those circles are the perfect size of a bracelet.
Yeah.
So, and I don't have any idea why I did that, but I got it on both sides. But I would take this block and I knock the corners off. And that's my guide, is those lines. And then I drill me a hole dead center, because I've used a compass to lay them out. And then I put this on my screw chuck, bring it up on my screw chuck, and spin it. I gotta get rid of this background thing. Okay, now I'm back. Then I'm spinning it on the screw chuck. I want to create the outside round. Now, I'm going to have a center and I'm going to have the outside round created. I've laid this out on a piece of graph paper, and I came up with those lines. That is my outside. Nope, right here. That's my outside and that's my inside. So when I shape this on my screw chuck, I can shape the outside close to that line. Not all the way to the line, close to that line. And I now have a piece that's running true. I would take that chuck I just told you about, cold jaws, and I had one and I can't find it, it's shot. With the plywood backing on it, I'd put the ring up there, bring the jaws down to it, and then I could dimension the inside. Remember, I have this set at 2 3/8 of an inch. That's the size I like to cut. And I'd set it to the inside. Now, I'm running on a true piece because it's rounded on a lathe, not on a bandsaw. I'm running on a true piece. I create the inside. I can take on, it's running like this. I can bullnose round off the top, the inside on the outer side, sand it, finish it, get it ready, and then flip it around. Remember, it's running in a true disc. Do it on the other side, and then put the finish on the interior. And that now has a rough outside and a finished inside. And then the collet chuck, and that's what you built today, was collet chuck. The collet chuck, you put it on a collet chuck, you slide it on, you bring your tailstock up, and I like to use that large bullet that's I'll lose my butt if it wasn't anchored. Use that cone to expand that chuck. And if I want to worry about the finish, I can protect it with one strip of that blue painter's tape. Don't go crazy on a painter's tape, because if you work it too hard, it'll start to move, and then that blue glue comes off and it's hard to clean off. Then you have the outside spinning, and then you can do the exterior. You can shape it and everything, and when you've created a piece, you got it down to size. At that point, you can wire burn some grooves into it. If you choose, you can step it a little bit in your cold jaws. You can step it a little bit, snug the jaws back down, because you have the tape to give you some more friction, and you can cross burn it if you choose. Then get brave and kick it the other way, cross burn it. It's a canvas that every artist can work on. And it's the only thing you and I talked about just now that some people wouldn't have is the cold jaws. And I think I can get around that with a faceplate. I'm still working on it. But that's I've had folks say it's a bracelet. What's a big deal? It's not a bracelet. It is a big deal. It's not a bracelet. It's a piece of your art, your work. And just now you sized the piece, you put it on a screw chuck, you held it in a faceplate or a faced up piece. You used a couple of tools, you back flipped it to do the interior finishes. So you've done the finishes and the prep and all that. Then you turn around, put it on your collet chuck, shop-made collet chuck, and then you've done your decoration. Now, I know Doug Moore's in here tonight. I'm pretty sure he's in here tonight. Doug Moore would have fun with this, with embellishing, and so would Birdhouse Bob. Birdhouse Bob couldn't stand it. He'd have to get something to embellish it. But and that'd be that little knurling tool I have. I made one similar to somebody's brand name. I bought the knurl from MSC Direct or Greenville, made a little holder for it, and it's the same knurling tool that they have. It's made for cutting into light metals and stuff to do knurls, knobs. I would turn mine out, and I got one right here. I'd turn it out and then spin a knurl down on it and put a couple of divining grooves on it. You can do all that holding it on your collet chuck.
Yeah. You know what I was thinking about doing? Making some light colored ones like this, and then with a real tiny screw or drill some holes through it, and then maybe put cardboard backing on the inside, and then fill those holes with different colored of resin.
That'd be nice.
Maybe even, offset them, Here,
well,
here.
if y'all said we had to worry about it being in line.
Exactly. Exactly. Random.
At one time in my career, I was hired by Tulane University to come pave the pig trails at all intersections of walkways. So if a walkway come up like this, we put a pig trail across the corners because these folks kept cutting the corners and killing the grass. And it's a college, you'd think that you catch on. But we have got put in pig trails. And I asked the guy, I said, how do you want them shaped? And he says, you know what? I don't care, because whatever you put in, they're going to take a shortcut across that. It's just that somebody in a college decided we're going to put paved pig trails in. And we had a ball. I mean, they want they didn't line up. They curved. Three curved, one was straight. And we got raves over it. And the guy said, "Well, where'd you get a pattern?" I said, "That was the beauty part. All I had to do was put a pig trail over there, and whatever to go work out, it worked out." So offset irregularities are the beauty of our work. You can do so much with.
That's why I'm better at it, or that's why I'm good as I am at it. I'm not perfect in any way. Can't cut a straight line at all.
Well, maybe you weren't born to cut a straight line, but your wiggles look better than other people's wiggles. I've heard all the stuff about the OGs and the sweeps and the pyramid thing for finials and all that. Draw it. Just take a piece of graph paper out and draw it. And if your mind's eye likes what you see, make it. If not, turn the paper over and draw another one, or another one, or another one. And you will learn that all those things are right. If you're paying for somebody to teach a class, they're all right. If you just winged it and come up with something that was pleasant to the eyes, you made it home. You really did.
Yep.
I had a guy say he could teach finials at a club meeting, and he showed up with a couple of pieces, with finials on them. If it was my work, I wouldn't have shown it, really. Then I realized he didn't want to show the better finials. He would get paid for a class to do the better finials.
Want to buy some insurance?
Only on my car.
Yeah, who would be calling Eddie during the meeting?
Yeah.
Jeez.
It
Don't they know better?
I've been Dane. I saw what Dane was in Facebook jail. Did I?
Dane is.
Yeah. I don't know what he did. What did he
Dane's been
do?
a bad boy.
Yeah. I'd like to know what he did, because there's some days when I wish I could afford to do that.
He gave somebody down the road because they were being kind of candy.
Ooh, okay. So he told him what he thought about it. And sometimes that doesn't work on social media.
Exactly. And that's such a liberal platform that it doesn't take much.
That's like the monetizing of YouTube's.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to fish for a living. I did the Pro Bass Trail. I was a guide and all this stuff. I never ran across anybody in all those trips with a string bikini on. Never.
I think I know the lady you mean, Eddie.
There's a couple of them like that, and
Yes.
Yeah, there's.
A couple of them been demonetized because they went a little bit too far. Too many shots from behind about the big fish being caught.
Yeah.
Most people couldn't tell you she was fishing, but that's just how the monetizing on YouTube is. I don't know where you go to complain or how you complain or where to get their information from, but I guess they're in a position, since it's their platform, they set their rules. I mean,
Hey, Eddie.
Hey, go ahead.
Hey, you want to make a couple of us co-hosts?
As I was doing it, you came up. My screen to do that with was not showing. I had to change computers just now, and I think I have it up. I think we got a handful of y'all done right now. That'll help me out with it.
Yeah, that'll help you build the meeting faster.
Yeah, caution co-host. Be careful about that mute button. We're really only mute all when the demonstration is going on, but if y'all helping me out, if somebody's got Jeopardy on in the background, you can see the thing blinking. Just kick them out for a minute. they may realize it, but we have to leave it open to start the meeting. And, you know, some folks just, they're a little slow getting on a bus. Okay?
Not a wood turner. No way.
With an attitude.
Not us.
Wait a minute.
I don't got an attitude.
Tommy Schultz. Wait a minute. We got a live one here. Tommy Schultz shoots. Said he has a piece of paper ready. Can you tell me how to sign up? Tommy, give me 1 second, Tommy. We're going to do this. Tommy, is there a chance that you've got money? Hold on.
Run, Tommy, run.
You're gonna sell him a special hat, Eddie.
I'm gonna. Whoop! I wanted to go to him just now, and I can't see him. Special hat, car insurance. Yeah. Come on, screw those people.
Membership now, you have to pay everybody in the group.
Yeah. Tommy, we're teasing with you, pal. There is no membership requirement. Are you a wood turner? That would be interesting. What kind of lathe you use? We'd like to know it. Particulars, we have what we call the contact list. Now, it's members who wish to have their identity known and be contacted. It's very informal and very easy to be part of, and our webmaster David puts it together. And the way we go about it, Tommy, is in our chat right now, you put the information you wish to share with members, and you can put your phone number, your address, your email, anything you want to put in there. It's no requirements, no slot, no box, nothing else. All you need to do is put that in and say contact list, put it in there. David, our webmaster, will take that out of the contact list, out of the chat, and place it in our contact list. And it's there for members. If you like a copy of that list on our contact thing on our website, there's the things, there's a member list, you click on that, then you fill out the form, just like it asks. It's going to come to subject, and subject is capital CAPTAIN, David. And you submit it. A few moments later, you'll get an email that says, here's access to the contact list. Now, it's built to be bot-proof. As much as we can do it today, we're bot-proof. And it's not live for everybody. It's not on a website, because that's not bot-proof. So if you want to be part of that list, that's how we do it. Otherwise, we're just here. And I'm pretty sure if you want to get some real good car insurance, we can help you out.
If you don't want to go about it that way, just call Eddie. He'll tell you. Just call him. Call him anytime.
Yeah, he'd like
Middle
to
of the
chat
night,
to everybody.
At midnight. Come at midnight.
There you go. Call him at midnight.
in the morning. I might
Before
His
have
name's on the
cup of
list.
coffee even.
Hey, Eddie, are you still collecting for a new cable service? Run, Tommy.
Yeah, right now I'm running 2 computers so I can see live and see what I'm producing, because when I got Brenda up before, it was overloading, so I've had to jump ships already. No, we're going to keep looking at them. I just can't decide what to do. Probably going to cave in and go to Cox Cable with somebody. But that's going to be a major cave-in, because we used to be affiliated with that group, and I really don't like them. See, Billy Dillard popped in from Homa. Hey, Billy.
Hello, everyone. Hope all is well.
Yeah, Billy, I saw your granddaughter.
Yeah, hey Billy.
That's my Cade response. Hope all is well.
if y'all hadn't seen on Facebook, Billy's granddaughter had a dancing review recital, and
It
Bill-
was. She's a
Billy
cutie.
she can't deny being related to Billy. It's in there.
Nope.
Was that recital in home of Billy?
It was in Thibodeau,
Thibodeau.
15 miles away.
My wife helps put one together that was in the Jefferson Performing Arts Theater here in Metairie last Friday night. Big deal. I mean,
Well, it is a big deal. I've never been to a dance recital. There was 500 girls there.
yeah.
Wow.
Goodness.
500.
And my wife was teaching there. Well, she started going to school there 60 years ago, and she taught there for 30 years. And she loves to go back and do this. I don't think she wants to go back and teach. She wants to go back and hold little kids and all. It was a ball. It was a blast. She came in so worn out. We tried to go to water size every day. Maybe take a day off a week. I couldn't get her up out of the chair on Saturday. She's worn out, which is good. That kind of burn off of energy is good for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, members, if you're new members or if you've been around for a while, in the last couple of weeks, I've been asking you, what kind of lathe are you using? Lathe or lathes are you using? We're just doing a little wrap up. I only like you to vote one time if you would. In the first week we did it, my chat didn't save, and or not all of it because I got bumped off for a bad internet thing. So, wait, where'd we go? Okay. Somebody's got some real serious background stuff.
Got him.
Okay, good. So, if you're just joining us and you generate a background sound, mute yourself if you would, please. And I'm talking about if you're out into the wife, bring you another sandwich, or is there another cold one in the refrigerator, something like that, you know. But I see Dane checked in. Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, how about that?
There he is.
Please.
I will do right now. You're doing the demonstration this evening, correct?
Well, I'm going to do something, yes. Right, wrong, or indifferent.
Bloody
okay,
Mary.
Is it bracelets? Is it bracelets?
It's similar to a bracelet. It's going to be napkin rings, but the same methodology will be in play.
So it's bracelets for little bitty people. Okay.
Now, we're going to make them a little bit bigger, but with the same methodology, yes.
What I was talking with Brenda and a couple of the other folks earlier on, sometimes I get folks that say, why do we do those simpler projects? It's not so simple, is it?
No, it's not. Plus, it can incorporate skill building. So,
and the ability to add tons of technique to it.
absolutely.
Yeah, and ideally, you're turning something that shows somebody who's relatively new, somebody who's relatively new, they can do something like that too. And there's going to be something for somebody who's looking to up level their skills too. Yeah,
Correct.
And it may create a idea in somebody else's head.
exactly.
You know, just like the bracelets. I showed bracelets last week. Now Dane's going to do similar project like the napkin holders.
I know. He copied that from you, Brenda. I know he did.
I know. We all know that.
Exactly. I got
Any
cornhole
problem
into
with your
that.
chair? Did you
They're
break
bigger.
your
Does
chair,
that
Eddie?
make them? If they're bigger. Does that make them towel rings?
Towel
Well,
rings.
you can make them whatever you want. Curtain holders.
Oh, there you go. That's a great idea. That's a really great idea. I need one of those. I'm already learning stuff.
No,
You there? Got your money's worth already, don't you?
Yep, and he hasn't even started.
Worth the price of admission already.
Hey, Brenda, what's that stuff behind you?
What stuff?
Stuff on the
This?
table.
This?
The four wooden things on the table.
Oh, I showed these a couple weeks ago. They're table legs, footstool legs that I made.
Now I remember. Yep. Yep, I like them.
Ain't that pretty?
It
I
is.
love that wood. And they were found on the side of the road.
Perfect.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool.
A little while ago, I mentioned that we'd like to know what kind of lathe you use because we're just a little informal poll. There's nothing informal about Dave Rhodes, really. Dave says the lathes used by the club are currently listed at worldwidewoodturners.org/lathes around the club. And then, yeah, get this. And then he says, you want to know about is your local club recognized in our group? And you can do that by going to worldwidewoodturners.org. Member clubs. I mean, that's on the chat. You know, does he ever stop?
No.
But if you like a club listed there, just put in an add Gulf Coast Wood Turners. That's what Bob Hodge says. And there's no requirements. We don't get any brownie points or anything else. It's just we like to know who our friends are and where they're at. And everybody's invited. There is no membership requirements. And no money, please, no money. I had somebody call me this week about paying for our internet charges and all that. We have that taken care of. We really do. If it comes down push and shove one day and we can't do it, we'll let you know. But for right now, we've got enough friends in this world that we can take care of it. That's the important part.
And they are all over the world.
They are too. I mean, Donald's hanging out in the cold of Australia. You had a cold. It's 97 degrees outside my house. Donald, how cold is it? I know Donald's out there.
How cold is it, Donald? Where'd he go?
There he is. He has killed his video and his audio.
There he is.
There's
Donald.
It's not too hot over there. He's not sweating.
How warm is it, Donald?
I don't know. I haven't checked this morning. I was too busy chasing me dogs. Got out.
okay.
They must have thought it was hot for their little feet.
No, it's down in the single figures.
He's on the flip side.
Yeah, it better be in his single figures.
Man, that's and we have a viewer from Peru on tonight. I see his name in there. And I did get a notice.
All right.
Yeah. And we've got a lot of stuff on our Facebook page from Fan Dung.
Yeah, what is? I don't know what his name is.
Yeah, boy, you see the work he does?
Wild man.
Yeah,
He is awesome.
Huge
Mm-hmm.
columns and vessels. And
I got a full video of him turning one of those columns.
And you want
Finish.
Hey, Trace is in the house.
Oh, great.
Good evening.
hey, Trace, how you
Trace.
doing?
Internet treating you good tonight?
Doing pretty good. See if it does any better. I had the guy in here today working because it's been so unstable. So we'll see if he fixed the problem.
Yeah, that's good.
Good.
I know you got booted out last week.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, I have the closed caption turned on tonight for with a request from a member if we'll turn it on, please. And if it's showing up on your screen and you'd rather not see it, go to live transcript and it'll tell you to hide it. You can hide it. My problem is if I'm reading that, I can't listen to you. It's a brain thing or lack thereof. Hey, SWAT's coming up in just about 2 months. And that's going to be the 26th, 27th, and 28th of August in Waco, Texas. My personal preference is the finest symposium in the world. But this weekend is AAW in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Is that correct, Chattanooga, Tennessee?
Yep, that's correct.
Yeah, AAW is. They do a nice symposium. I've been about half a dozen or more. But personal comment, I like SWAT because it's hanging out with family you like. I mean, when I go there, I bump into people I see all the time, talk to every time, and it's managed by clubs. And the sales floor is wide open. And some of the galleries open for anybody. You don't have to pay entry to go to those. If you want to see the classes, you should join or pay an entry fee. If you'd like to eat, because they provide meals, you can do that. You can do that on the same ticket. So it's a different concept, and I like it. We have several there. I don't know if it's founding members or original members or just old members, but they're all with us most weeks. I'm looking forward to it. I'm trying to work it around a medical thing right now, but it's looking good. It's looking good. Brenda will take down the names of the galleries tonight because Dane's going to be busy turning his demonstration, which starts in about 50 minutes. Brenda will take down your name for gallery. If you'd like to show something, go to gallery and say, I have something to show. It's like Doug Miller did just now. He put something, I have something to show. Doug Miller, talk to me, sir.
Yes, sir. I'm here. I'm
good.
here. I'm here.
Still can't see you, Doug.
I'm here.
I got him.
I am here. I am here. There you are.
Horton the Who, huh? Horton here's the Who.
Thornton, here's a who. That's right. Oh, you want me to go ahead and share mine?
Yeah, let's go ahead and start cracking them
There's
out.
some others ahead of me, but that's okay. I'll go ahead and show it and then get it out of the way.
We'll jump back to Matt. That's all right.
This is this is really a proof of concept piece. I've got that black limba, and I wanted to turn kind of a round bottom bowl. And I've almost got the round bottom, not quite. I've still got a recess in this one. This came out at 3 1/4 by 1 1/8. I had a little chip out. There's a knot right there, and it chipped out on me, so I had to go down and cut a lot of the top off to get a smooth edge. But it came out real nice. It's just construction lumber, same, like we've been doing for a while. Nice knot in the bottom. It comes all the way through on the inside. Came out real nice and smooth. I don't even have any wax on this. I just sanded it up, got some sanding sealer on it, and let that be that. So this is just proof of concept. But I'll probably go back and wax it.
All right, that's nice. I like that. 2x4 club.
Very nice, Doug.
All right. I skipped a couple of people. We did this.
All right, I made a few things this week. First thing I made was a little turntable. It's got a little Lazy Susan attachment in there, so it spins, so I can spin things while I finish them. And that was just a little tool I made in the shop. And then you guys remember the dot work I was doing last week, the dot painting. So I made this little walnut box, and it's got some texture and stuff on the inside. And it's
oh my.
Oh wow.
So
nice.
this is actually a second effort. If you're interested in doing this, give me a call or write me or something, because I learned that I sanded a whole bunch of shit off. I'm sorry, I sanded a bunch of stuff off of this. My first effort was less than optimal.
We didn't hear that tailgate. It's all good.
Yeah, This was a lot of fun. I used pearlescent silver and a purple that I mixed with the pearlescent silver. So it turned out pretty cool. And I'll probably come back and put a few more little dots on top of some of these other dots. I do some double dotting or whatever they call that. So, but it was a lot of fun. And I learned how to mix the paints correctly. So that's why the first effort was such a mess. So
It looks fantastic.
Yes.
thank you. I'm really happy with this one. This turned out really cool. So I sent this to a friend of mine who said, "Show me what you're doing," and she said, "Be prepared to make a lot of these because they're going to sell." So I guess I'm gonna.
Good. And we got you, and we still got you on the hook for July 13th for that, right?
Is that the day we agreed on?
Yeah.
I got it written as the 6th, but I'll do the 13th if you'd rather. I do the 13th.
July, nope, sorry. Yep, 6th. No,
Okay.
July 6th.
And we decided finials. Is that right, Dane?
Whatever you want to do with that paint.
All right. Well, you tell me. I mean, if you come up, I think I wrote down finials, but if you want to see something else, just let me know.
No, let's do the dot paint there.
You sure?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah,
All right.
it's something. It's
Love
something
that.
new. We've seen finials before. Let's see something different.
All right. I will make a note of that.
All right,
I'll
everybody
update as
in favor,
well.
everybody in favor, raise your hand. Okay, we got a vote. Go ahead.
Here's one. How about dot painting them finials?
Right.
That would be a neat trick. You know, I was thinking, is Bob Moffat in the house? I was thinking of doing some of that on top of a birdhouse because that was suggested also. So
That'd be cool.
Whatever.
I figure out how to do that. But
If you can
one of the
do
games,
the dot paint, that would be cool.
yeah, one of the games is you want to try to get the paint gradiating. You know, so you go from one color to another, and so you just mix more of it in, and then you paint the next row of dots, and you mix more in, and paint the next row of dots, and it gets like progressively darker or progressively lighter or something. It's a pretty neat trick. So.
Learning.
Yep. And the first thing I tried to do there, a lot of the videos on YouTube said mix it with a medium. Well, I apparently got the wrong kind of medium and it came out way too thick, and that's why I sanded it off. So I actually used the stuff I had, you know, from the. It's reversed. This is the Floetrol.
We can read it. We can read it.
All right.
Yeah,
I
it's
can't.
correct. It's correct for us.
It is? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm mirrored here on my screen, so yeah, it's the Floetrol that I was using for the. You guys remember when I was doing the paint pours?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Those dirty pours or whatever they call them.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's the same stuff I was using, and I mean, clearly, if the paint was too thick, then I needed to use something to thin it out a little bit. So that's what I used. So worked pretty good.
Okay.
Good work. Thanks.
Thank you,
Matt.
Bob.
Yep. Thank you.
There he is.
Bob.
Wake up, Bob. Look.
Hi, Bob.
Right on cue.
Yeah, hey guys. All right, am I here yet?
You're
You're
here.
here.
Okay. Yeah, I did a couple of things. The local club had a challenge for a thin deal cup thing, and I've done them thinner, but I don't like the looks of them. And so anyway, this is what I did. But it's not super thin, but that's okay. I like the looks of it better. I hate to do it and it looks stupid, so it look funny. So I like that shape better.
That's good. That
That is
good. What kind of wood? What is that?
that's pecan, and that's a CA finish on there. That's
Very good.
yeah. It came out real good. And then I started thinking about Christmas and what am I going to do for it, and I saw this on YouTube and decided I was going to try to make it angel.
I like that.
Yeah, it turned out good. This is a 2x6, club, pine club or construction.
There you go, 2x4 club.
Yep, 2x4 club. But this was out of a 2x6, and I think I'll try to make a few more of these.
Very nice.
Yeah, I've seen those, but I've never tried to make one. That looks great.
Yeah,
it's great. Great October demo. October demo. Yeah.
Yeah. but it's super easy. It you know, of course, there's not a whole lot of turning in pine. It turns out real fast. So you know, you cut the holes first, then you come back and turn it. But
I watched Nick Cook do a demonstration on that. And he knocks it out. It's almost embarrassing to watch how easy he does it.
Yeah.
If you can find his site, I think he's got a document about how to do those on his site. I remember downloading that document and making one or two.
It was Nick Cook.
Yeah.
Nick Cook wrote an article on it in the AAW Journal. It's in one of the AAW journals.
But I have to look for him. Yep.
He's a great demonstrator. He really is. He can just make it rock and roll.
Go sign him up.
Hey, Bob.
Thanks, Bob.
Yeah.
I've made a lot of those, but I've always put the wings on the other way around.
Oh, turning backward?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you could,
I made
you
a
know.
bunch of them.
I did
I've never-
too, and I have the wings turned the backwards too.
Yeah. I'll have to look at that. Maybe.
But that
maybe
looks neat. I like it.
Maybe that looks better.
Hey, Bob, how did you connect it?
That's how Nick does it. Here's the document, guys.
Okay. All right. Good.
All right.
It's beautiful.
Bob,
you could theoretically do whatever you wanted to the wings. You wanted to make a Batman out of that instead of an angel. You could carve Batman wings.
Yeah. That's what I thought when I was cutting it out. It looked more like Batman, but anyway.
Bob, how do you have the wings connected to the body?
You cut it out like a bowl. You know, you do the back. Had a mortise on the back of it, and I cut the back out, and you're holding it at the front. You know, and then you flip it around, and you're holding a mortise back here, and you actually turn it, but you don't turn the center away. I don't know if you can see that in there or not, but you don't turn the center away. And where the tenon, where the live tailstock is setting on it, pushing on it, I turned that down to a 5/8, you know, with a wrench, and you don't have to make it very deep, you know, like a 1/2 inch. And this thing's only 1.5 inches thick, you know, it's a piece of plywood, piece of pine. So I turned it down and that 1/2 inch and just, you know, drilled a 5/8 inch hole and stuff it in there. But you don't want it all the way down because you want it to stand off from the wing.
Right.
Get a little more light in there. Whoops.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, you can see it. Looks good.
So did you cut those wings out on the bandsaw, or how'd you do that?
Yeah, the first thing you do is you put a mortise on it so you can hold it, and you know, drill use a Frostner bit and drill that in here, and then it's actually on this side, and then you actually take a smaller one. I used a 2 1/8 for the one to hold it, and then I used 1 inch and 5/8 to make this original hole. So you actually make 2 holes. You drill a hole here and you drill a hole up here, and they don't go all the way to the top. You want it to not go all the way to the top, and you really want it to dip a little bit into your mortise, what you got here. So that 1 inch and 5/8 came up, I don't know, maybe a 1/2 inch or something from the end. But anyway, you drill them out all the way through, these 2 all the way through, and then you come back with a bandsaw and cut this top out. And then you turn it.
I like it. Yeah, it looks nice.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Bob. Appreciate it.
Okay,
Very nice, Bob.
I'll put the guy's video that I was watching in here so you can see that too, but it's easy to do.
Okay.
Easy for you to say.
You can do
a quick
it.
shop tour here with Dean.
If I can do it, you can do it.
Don't anybody wake up Dean.
Sell yourself short.
Oh, okay. So y'all want to take a look around the shop?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Heck
Good
yeah.
deal. All righty. Well, I spent a little bit of time cleaning it up, so we'll show it off.
You did that for us? Oh,
wow.
No,
that's a damn
actually, I
size.
did that because I was so miserable I couldn't come out here anymore. So this is the wall behind the lathe right here. Got my clamp rack up there. This wall we're going to be redoing because that's basically the background behind my videos. Then we got a little bit of a tool rack over there. Some of the tools. The tool rack I keep beside my lathe. That's my most used tools in that rack smock's hanging off of. And let's see if I can move this around just a little bit. So that's my control center for doing videos and changing cameras and everything. Then I have a camera right up there, right above the lathe. I have another one over there right between the two monitors. And then this one coming right into the end. And that cabinet that the benchtop tools are setting on there, that's lumber storage. So underneath the bottom portion, I can put 8-foot 2x4s, 4x4s, whatever in there. It's open all the way to the end. And then the back portion up there, the monitors are setting on, that's for sheet goods storage. And you got about a foot and a half of area there that you can slide sheet goods in the back of that. And then let's see if I can scoot up just a little bit more and y'all can see this over here. If any of you have ever heard a Craftsman shop vac, you know how loud they are. So I built a box and you can see the piping running through. I've got it throughout the shop. Craftsman shop vac sets in that, and then the other side next to the garage door, there's a 10-gallon bucket with a dust deputy on there. So when I get ready to empty it, I just raise the garage door and take it out. And we'll move back over this way a little bit. Got a few band saws over there. That one on the right is going to be a upcoming video. Here's so many folks talking about how expensive it is to get into woodworking. Well, the bandsaw on the left was $25 at a yard sale. The one in the middle was $50 on Craigslist. And I really stepped up, spent some high bucks, and got that jet over there on the right for $150. They all have the same problem. When I bought them, not a single one of them had tires on them. When people wear the tires out, they want to sell it, get rid of it. So probably, you know, I think for that little Craftsman and Delta, they were maybe 20 bucks or a little bit more for tires. And that jet, I spent maybe 30 bucks on tires for it. And over in the corner, I've got cubbies for holding drills, nail guns, impact drivers, all that kind of stuff. My chop saw. Let's see if I can zoom in here a little bit. See the Delta shaper. Use that more as a router table, really, but. And then the second tool I ever bought, that Harbor Freight drill press there.
I had one of those too.
I'll tell you what, it's amazing for the price how well that thing has worked.
Yeah, mine was a real workhorse. Went for years, no problems.
Yeah.
I only sold it because I got a bigger, better one.
Right. And I've been thinking about that myself. Got the Jet 18-inch bandsaw, the Delta drum sander, and the Craftsman table saw all feed out on this table. And that's a brand new purchase. I hadn't even had time to get it on yet, but that's a 17-inch extension for my one-way.
Oh my.
So I'll be able to turn 53 inches between centers. Now, I don't know when I'll ever turn 53 inches between centers, but
yeah, but it's nice to slide your tailstock out of the way sometimes too, though.
Exactly. I was thinking more of my elbow than anything else.
Yeah.
Now, Dean, I have a 17-inch extension for my one way, but I have it on the outboard side, and it gives me a short bed lathe to finish the bowls with.
See, I have the outboard turning on my one way, so I can turn. I think it's 50 inches on the outside.
I don't have that. I just have the extension.
Little jet mini lathe, that's an upcoming video. That's a Craigslist find I picked up just specifically to do a video with. And this one right here, that is the evil machine in the shop. That's what got all this started. Yeah. I was collecting fountain pens, and somebody told me if I got a lathe, I could polish my fountain pens better. So I bought that at an estate sale, and it came with pin turning stuff. I don't have to tell you guys what happened after that.
Got hooked.
Oh yeah, he comes to the vortex hard.
Exactly. Sorry for making you guys a little drunk there with all that spinning around. One of the
that's nothing compared to what I'm going to do.
One of the things I did, I'm in a 20 by 20 garage, 2-car garage. So I built a wall right here, hung a clamp rack on the end of it there. But what that did is that gave me a place back in here to put things like dust collector, compressor, a wall to put hardware and stuff on, and just ended up giving me a whole lot more room. And that brings us back to the lathe. And, you know, a lot of folks say that the table saw is the center of their shop. Well, you're looking at the center of my shop. That's where I spend most of my time, and everything else in here I use every once in a while.
Nice shop.
Really nice
shop.
So that's what I've managed to put together over the last, probably 10, 12 years for a shop. And so just wanted to share that with you guys while it was clean, because once I get this thing fired up again, it won't stay clean very long.
That's good news.
Sure, Dean, I appreciate that.
Not a problem, man.
Let the fun begin.
Well, I told the wife, I know y'all been asking for folks to share their shop, and I mean, I know I always like to see what everybody else has got and how they've got their shop laid out. So I told the wife, I said, while it's clean, I'm going to take this opportunity.
Right.
It's got to turn a couple resin bowls. That'll change that clean.
Well, I tell you what, one weekend, not long after I got this shop, a friend of mine called me up and says, I've got some wood down here. You want to come get it? Well, now what's the answer? Obviously, yeah, you got wood, I'm coming.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I had a 3/4 ton Dodge truck, and we had to stop putting wood on it because that thing was sinking down. And I got back here, and I hadn't been turning long, and I was pretty excited about every opportunity and every piece of wood. So I took that truckload of wood, and Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I turned it into roughed out bowls. And I think all of it. I think the garbage man dodged our street for about a month after that.
Yeah, I bet.
I had shavings knee high, so I had to stop, shovel out the shavings so I could start over again. But yeah, the wife said, you don't need to do that to them again. Those guys were out there. I think there was like 12 or 14 bags of those big contractor bags, as long as you could put a shaving in it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot.
It was a lot.
A lot.
Those yard waste bags, I don't know if you got separate pickup for like yard waste, but those yard waste bags are better because it's less stuff. They're easier to lift. And they go right into the landfill. They're not going into, they go into like a mulching pile thing.
Yeah, they don't separate that out here.
Gotcha.
we've just in the last couple of years got it to where we now have recycling here.
Understood.
No money in recycling.
I watched the recycling truck go by yesterday. It looked just like the garbage truck. And it's funny. The guy on one side was throwing
I hate to
recycling.
say this, but there's a significant percentage of that stuff that all goes into the same place, even though it might be picked up in separate trucks.
Exactly.
Yep, that's a fact. That's a fact. Because
Sad
the
but true.
recycling centers say they can't make money on recycling.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've been places where the dumps are like, you know, you need somebody who's dedicated to making sure that things get separated, and then things do. You know what I mean? But
right.
You know, I think you're right. I think it's just more economical for it all to go to the same place.
Yeah.
But I know that the vegetation, the yard waste that they pick up separately. So I get 3 trucks. I get one normal garbage, I get one recycling, and I get one for yard waste that comes in the yard bags. And I know that stuff goes into a mulching pile because I missed it one December. And my then wife said, "We can't have that sitting around all winter. You go take it to where you're supposed to take it." So I went and took it, and it was out in the country, and it was just piles and piles of those bags and mulch and so on. So I know that doesn't go into a landfill.
Yeah, there was a big deal in Houston, man. It was all over the news here a few months ago. The regular garbage truck was picking up the recycle and the garbage, putting it in the same truck.
Yeah,
people got all kinds of bent out of shape.
Right.
So I saw it happen right in front of my house 2 days ago.
There you go.
You know, it's trash. All right. We're still doing gallery. It's 32 after the top of the hour. You're on with worldwidewoodturners.org. And the .org thing is our website, and straight up, it's the best one for wood turning in the entire world. Thank you, Dave. And some additions to that website are listed on our chat. And I say this a couple of times during the night, but Donald's in charge of this. Donald from Australia is in charge of this to remind you to save the chat. If you don't, it'll be on the website. But you can have the chat saved on your home computer right as you can do it now, but it's going to stop saving it right now. So before you leave, save the chat. And I do it. I often have to refer back to the ones I get to get a name or a phone number or whatever. Sometimes you just got to talk to another wood turner. You know what it's like? So, all right. We just had a great tour by Dean of his shop. And Dane is going to do our demonstration night on napkin rings, and we're still in soliciting mode for demonstrations. If you're interested in doing a demonstration for us, and get this, you just saw Dean's shop, and he had 3 cameras and 94 screens in his shop. Keep an eye on things. But Doug Miller's has done demos. He puts them on YouTube. And Doug has got one iPhone, and does demonstrations for YouTube. One iPhone. So you never held back by equipment. And if you're looking at this on the computer, your computer probably takes an input. Mine will take a half a dozen of these USB cameras if I choose. So I can do my recording directly onto my laptop or my iPad or my phone and edit them using software provided by Apple and post them on YouTube or to, whatever. So you're not held back by equipment. You're not. And we'd love to see what you can do and how you can do it. This week, because of some conflicts, I couldn't get a couple of tips and tricks I'd worked out. I got a list of them right there. Worked out a one to get them produced to add in, because we like to do tips and tricks each week. And that's things that you developed, I developed, he developed, she developed, that'll make your turning a little bit better, easier, safer, whatever. we don't want to cut corners on safety whatsoever. It's bad for us to show it. It's bad for us to show a demonstrator who says I can't demonstrate behind a shield. Well, here's the other part of it. You can't demonstrate here either. Because new turners have to see that there's some safety requirements in this. And you have to pay attention to those safety requirements all the time. There's no, well, I won't do it today, it'll be all right. Yeah, they call them stubby for a reason. So we want to promote safety to a degree that we like to use it all the time. Someone correct me one day, why don't you wear a face mask, dust mask when you're turning and this and that. You know, it's personal preference on some of that. It is. But today everybody wears a mask. So what the heck?
Hey, Captain, can I say something on that?
I imagine you can.
Good deal. Can you get me up?
There you go.
Yeah, I'm bringing you up, Dean.
I had this little piece of wood on the lathe, and it's a pen blank. Of course, that's about as safe as you get, right? No problem. But the one thing I did is I reached over before I turned the lathe on and I put my face shield on. And that hit me right square between the eyes.
Wow.
Now, I was turning it fast. It's a pen blank. So we had the lathe humming, but that hit me square between the eyes. If I hadn't had my face shield on, it would have left a mark for sure. So don't ever think that you are being too safe, because you can't be too safe. Just wanted to show that, Captain, when you started talking about safety and face shields, that got my attention in a big way. And of course, you know I'm going to wear my face shield all the time anyway.
Yeah, good move. I always get it. I'll be driving. I came from the construction industry, and be driving by and see people working on a house or a building or whatever. And I'm always amazed how well those goggles work up here. And dust mask do so well right down here. I'm always amazed. There got to be a different brand of them, because I just can't find that brand that works for me. Don't take a shortcut. Shortcut takes you.
Ed?
Yes, sir.
I was turning a piece of oak about 4 years ago. 10 pounds, big piece of blackjack oak. It came off the lathe because, well, I was spinning it a little too quick and the mortise failed. And it hit me right in the face shield. Had I not been wearing one, that big piece of oak, I would have had a trip to the emergency room for sure.
Yep. All it takes is a blink. All it takes is one blink. I had a piece of black walnut kiss me one time, and I had my shield on, had that UVEX I like, hit it dead center, and I was almost knocked unconscious. I could make it outside of the shop, but I couldn't figure out where I was, what was going on. My neighbor sitting on his back step said, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Do you see blood?" He said, "No." I said, "Then I'm all right."
Hey, Eddie, he's got a question.
Who's up? Who's up?
Who's got
Hey,
a
Eddie,
question?
I got a question, and it's about the Nova G3. I know we've talked about it before, but when I got my Nova, I've got my Nova G3 ProTech, and I got it with 3 different size jaws. And it's not that I'm lazy, but I really am. I would like to get another just G3 jaw. It doesn't have to be the ProTech, but what is the difference between the ProTech and the G3 Lite? I'm just looking for a jaw so that I can. Not the, so that
Susan, supposedly Nova jaws, if it fits one Nova chuck, it fits every Nova chuck. They're supposed to be universally exchangeable. So you can just order the jaw set you want, you know, from Amazon or Woodcraft or whoever sells them, and it should fit your chuck.
All right.
That's my understanding as well.
Is just the chuck. I'm just looking for the G3 chucks. So what's the difference between the G3 Lite and the G3 ProTech? And you kind of answered that. We're saying that those jaws will fit any of those.
Yes.
But
so if you're just looking for a jaw,
I'm
s-
not looking
a
for
jaws.
jaws, looking for the chucks.
Looking for the chuck body.
Bear chuck.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I misunderstood then. Okay.
I probably said it wrong anyways, Matt. Thank
The
you.
Alpha Susan, the G3 Light is much thinner from front to back.
Okay.
The other one is their newest one. It's the biggest, heaviest chuck.
Okay, so that if I were to get the Nova 3, it would be for the lighter jaws, and keep my G3 Protect for the heavier jaws.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, if
Okay.
it's any consolation, Susan, I
Yeah.
have 5 Nova chuck bodies.
Okay.
Only two of them are the same. All the jaws fit all of them.
I know it was Chuck. That's my grizzly too.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yep.
like now mine's a 1-inch, a 1x8. So the one that I have is a reversible chuck, and it's already integrated into the chuck. Should I
Right.
get one with the insert or just stay with the ones that are integrated?
Well, the thing with the insert, if you get one with the insert, it's a little bit more for the insert. But if you ever upgrade your lathe, if you go to a bigger lathe or one that has like a 1 1/4 by 8, then you
Yeah.
can't use the ones without the inserts. So what buying chucks with the insert does is it gives you versatility and the ability to move between lathes. So for instance, I have 2 different lathes. I've got the Powermatic 3520B and the Jet 1221 VS, which is a MIDI lathe.
Right.
The Jet is a 1-inch. The Powermatic is 1 1/4. So I've got 2 of them with the 1-inch insert and 2 of them with the 1 1/4 insert and an extra one. Okay. So if I want to move them around between the lathes, I can just switch inserts. But what I do is I only really use 2 sets of jaws. I use the standard 50mm jaws that all the Nova chucks come with. And I use the pin jaws, the smaller jaws.
Right.
So I keep 2 chuck bodies with 1 1/4 by 8 inserts on them. And one has the standard jaws and one has the pin jaws. And I just spin them on and spin them off as I need them. So I don't ever change the jaws.
Okay, well, what I've got is the one with the pin jaws, the 50mm, and whatever the next larger size.
It's the 70.
And I'm sorry.
Yeah, it don't normally come with a 70. It normally skips. It goes to the 100.
Yeah, I thought it was.
There's a 70 also.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can buy. I had to buy my 70 separate.
Yeah, I got 5 sets of Nova jaws that are in a box that I never use. So.
And I've never used the 100mm. I only use the 50 and the pin. So I was
nice.
of another jaw, but you answered my questions to get the insert. Okay.
The importer, there's an importer woodworker specialist that I've mentioned before. They're importers they're actually in British Columbia. If you call them, he will talk to you and give you any of these answers on all of the Nova products, the jaws and all of that. And he is one of them that actually sells through Amazon, but you can also buy directly from him, and you can get it as faster through him as you can through Amazon.
Okay, can you put his information on the chat for me?
Yep, it'll be there in just a moment.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Sue.
Yes.
Nova chucks are made by Technical.
Right.
Technical is located right in Florida, right where you're at.
I know they're actually located in Clearwater. So
well, yeah, it's not, but it's not that far away.
6 miles from my house. I think.
Just give them a call.
I thought they were in New Zealand.
No, they have one up in Clearwater. So
yeah, there's a. I know I got some parts, and it came from Florida down there, and I called them up, and they were very nice and answered all the questions that I had, and actually they sent me the part for free. They didn't even charge me for it.
Okay, well, I figured I'd ask you guys before I ask a salesman on the phone.
Yeah, well, you can get customer service, not necessarily get a salesman.
Yeah.
Just tell them what you need.
Gotcha. Thank you, guys.
And now, thanks to the guys, you know to trust them.
That's right.
There you go.
All right. Well, with that, let's go to a gallery item here by Ron.
Who you got?
You got me? I'm here. You find me?
There he is.
Yeah,
I'm here.
I got
There we go. I didn't do a bird house. I did a
Put it back right in front of you.
direction here.
There you
I did a
go.
bird nest.
There you go.
That's cool.
Cool. Did you make
Very
the eggs
nice.
too?
I did.
How about
That's
that?
really neat. We've got robins.
Sweet.
So I had this cherry log laying around and thought, well, let's turn it into something.
Well, if you had one more of
looks
those,
good,
you could have
Ron.
if you had one more of those slightly bigger, you could have a nested set.
Yeah, there you go. That's all I have.
That's beautiful.
Nice
Good
job.
idea, Rana.
Love it.
That was cool. You
That's
posted it
nice.
earlier.
All right, Susan, and information about the wood turner specialties is on our website now from Gary. So that's what we're here for, to share information, folks. You have information you wish to share. You have a question like Susan had. That's what you do. This is where it happens. In about 13 minutes, we're going to go to Dane Chandler out in Arizona. He's going to do a demonstration for us tonight. It's going to be on napkin rings. Don't go away. Don't say napkin rings. It's like, I associated one time with a couple of guys, and I was talking about turning freedom pens. And one guy said, pens? I don't do pens. And my immediate response back across the room is, when you get better, you will be able to do that. I wasn't letting them off the hook. It's all the stuff we turn, we hold, we sand, we finish, we decorate, we emboss, we create. It doesn't matter if it's a pencil this long or a bowl that big around. Everything that you do there is called technique. And we're showing you is how to fine tune your technique to make your work come out better, more beautiful. And if you're selling things, this is where you really need to develop your technique so that you're not spending your whole day sanding something. You cut it right, you'll be able to put a good finish on it. And tonight, Dane's going to show you how to make napkin rings. If you do craft shows, napkin rings, and remember, you show them, you got to show them on a really good napkin, so you don't steal one from home. Get a good cloth napkin, wrap it and all this stuff, and that'll sell the napkin rings. This 4 rings stacked on the table won't sell. It's all in presentation. My dad was a milkman, and he was probably the world's finest milkman. He would go door to door to door selling, delivering milk. He grew up in Depression times, and he sold ice. His father had an ice mill, an ice plant, and he put ice on a wagon and delivered ice. In the wintertime, he collected rags. He knew how to handle people in business situations. My dad was an awesome salesman. He could sell you back the shoes you just threw away because he could make you understand the worth of it. So when you do those napkin rings and you show them with a piece of fabric on it, sitting on another piece of fabric that's the same napkin, that brings your eyes to it. You realize, oh wow, wouldn't that look so nice when we do Thanksgiving dinner? And I can put these on the table or whatever. And it's that little bitty thing that'll make the difference in what you make and you sell. And it's, to me, I've lived in those art shows, and I realized early on, presentation sells. It's not what you make, it's how you present it. So, all right, we're still doing gallery. Got about 10 minutes. We'll go back to Dane. Dane takes the gallery information. So does Brenda tonight, because Dane's going to be busy turning for us. If you have something to show, jump on and put in the chat. We have something to show. We'll go there. I see a couple lined up. Who's up next, folks?
Well, we got Tim Hatch up next.
Oh, wow.
Hey, good evening. How's everybody
Hey,
doing?
All right.
This weekend, I spent a little bit of time watching Mark Soleil and his wood slicing videos. So I started practicing on 2x4 and come up with this little jewel.
Aw.
Very nice.
They're not as good as Mark's by any means. You know, sharp tools are something else. And I figured I'd follow Birdhouse Bob and make a couple birdhouses. So I made this one. And
I love it.
when I was working on this one here, I realized that those bearings in that jet lathe I've got really got to get replaced, because you can see the spatter and everything up in here. It was just the shaft is actually just starting to wobble just a little bit too much for me to do anything. And when I started working on my vase, it was even more noticeable. So that's tonight's project, is replace the bearings. But speaking of the vases, we're at Craft Supply. I'm not you know, trying to sponsor anybody or anything, an advertisement, but if you're looking for a fairly cheap, economical way to put an insert in that's waterproof and have a dry flower arrangement or something for your craft sales, I think that thing is like $4 or something like that. And there's cheaper ones and smaller ones and whatever. But I did have a question on tongue oil finishing. I'm trying to figure it out, and I know it could be the humidity. I'm starting to get a pretty good shine, but I've got a residue buildup inside the bottom of the bowl, and it's tacky. Now, this is the second or third coat. I'm going to sand that back, but you recommend that I take some alcohol and wipe it down first to get rid of that residue, or what would you recommend on that?
I'm waiting for Cade Boger to jump in on this.
Hey, Tim.
He is.
I saw Cade pop in right before I did.
Yeah.
So
Hey,
I
everyone.
know he's got an answer for me, but I don't know if he's listening right now.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
is.
I'm here. I'm
Shine
here.
to it.
Hey, everyone.
Okay.
Yeah, it's probably because of the heat and the humidity in your state. So tongue oil can take a little longer to dry if it's really humid. But for the most part, it will dry within 24 hours or so.
It's been a week. It's been a week inside my office here, and
oh, it's been a week.
You know, yeah, and
Oh,
it's still tacky, and I'm like, yeah, okay, that's got to get sanded back. But
Yeah.
I'm thinking isopropyl alcohol to cut it back with. Is that a recommendation, or do you think mineral spirits?
I'd use probably denatured alcohol. You could use a stripper,
Okay.
depending on how built up it is. When you apply it, you have to be really careful about how thick of an application, especially with those vertical walls, because it will come down and pool in the bottom. So lighter coats is better than thicker coats. It just takes a little longer, but it pays off in the long run. But to
I'm
fix
liking
that,
the shine. I mean, on the exterior of the bowl, it's got a heck of a nice shine to it. So that, you know, and that's pretty coat. So the outside looks good. It's just the
it
inside.
looks.
I probably went a little too thick.
Probably. What's the wood, Tim?
The wood is spalted pecan.
Yeah, so I would try the mineral spirits first, and if
Okay.
it comes off, that's great. Just lightly scuff it back and then reapply finish. If it's actually started to solidify in amongst some of the ripples, you might have to hit it with something a little more corrosive, like a stripper.
Okay.
And then I would just wipe that on and wipe it off. I wouldn't let it sit too much, because you don't want too much of the finish to come off. You just
Right.
want the top layer to come off, and then lightly sand it and go through your finishing steps again, and you'll be golden.
All right. Hey, thank you very much. I appreciate that. You know, like I
Yep.
say, trying different finishes, and I'm liking the tongue oil shine, but boy, that heat and humidity is not working with it. So, all right, thank you.
Advice
Thank you,
worth
Coach.
the price.
Thank you, Coach
That's it.
Sam.
Ray.
All right, let's go to Ray.
There he is.
Hey, can you hear me?
Oh yeah, we got you.
Okay.
Hear you and
well,
see you.
I got a couple of things to show. I've got something, unmute myself. There we go. I got a little cherry bowl that I've done with an inlay.
Oh my.
That's
pretty. That is pretty.
And that was a wipe-on poly finish on it. And of course,
What's the inlay?
Logo.
That's
On the
nice.
bottom of it.
Sweet.
Someone asked what's the inlay?
It's a little inlay that I bought from Woodcraft. I finish the bowl practically all the way, and then I take a parting tool and just cut a groove in there and inlay that in there, and then very fine sanding and a final finish again. And I've done that several times, and it works out very nicely.
So it's kind of a veneer strip, is that right?
Yeah, it's a veneer that you can buy, and they have all kinds of different patterns in there. I kind of like this one here, kind of Southwest pattern.
That's cool.
That is very nice.
Right?
Yeah.
That's
Because I was expecting to see it on the inside too, like it was a layered bowl, but it's not that. That's
No, it's not layered. It's
it's cool.
It's got a knot in it that goes all the way through, but that's
What
fine.
did you say the finish was again?
It's just wipe-on poly.
Very nice.
Real nice.
Finished to 400 grit, and then sanding grit and wipe-on poly. After this one, it's been a while since I've shown anything. I got another one here. A little larger.
Wow.
Oh man.
Nice colors.
There's a nice segmented one.
That's open segment.
Beautiful. Yeah, open segment. Those are nice.
That's
I like
beautiful.
Wow.
That is gorgeous.
How many
How
pieces?
How long did that take you to make?
Right.
I worked on it a little over 3 weeks. I could do 2 to 3 rows a day, and there's 37 rows of 48 pieces per row. So I've got about 1,729 pieces in this.
Oh,
mercy.
And it's all, of course, natural wood, bloodwood, whinge, maple, red heart, bloodwood, yellow heart, and
Oh my goodness.
Gorgeous.
What's used for base?
What's
your base wood?
Pretty.
Pardon?
Ray, what's your base wood?
The base is Wingate.
Oh, okay. Wingate, yeah.
That is awesome.
And,
Nice
and
job.
The finish
Wow.
is just rattle can spray lacquer.
Yeah. Awesome.
Beautiful work. Beautiful work.
Fantastic.
Absolutely. That's a blue ribbon prize winner there.
It's
those-
going to the state. It's going to go to the state fair this year, I think.
And those
Yeah.
segments are
Gorgeous.
small.
Beautiful.
Yeah, they are. Right, Billy?
What's the dimensions on it, Ray?
It's about 13 inches across and about 6.5 inches tall.
Absolutely beautiful.
And what's amazing, I never lost a piece in turning it. It was all
Wow.
turned with a gouge. I did use a scraper a little bit on it, but very little, and it just came out really good.
Yes, it did.
Amazing.
That's great.
And that's all I got for this show.
True work of art. Very
Thank
nice.
you.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Definitely nice.
Spectacular work.
Now I got to figure out what to do next.
How could
Well,
you
I'm
top
sure you don't
that?
have a problem.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to Dave. Hey, Dave.
Hey.
You all know that I've mentioned before that I like to do communion sets. Well, recently I took down a maple tree out in the front yard, and I saw the bark inclusion, and I just couldn't resist. I used some of the techniques that we talked about last week for end grain, and I ended up with this.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Nice. What do you see in that, Eddie?
I think it's a golf club. I think it's a golf club.
Yeah, I got
That's
it as
awesome.
thin as I dared and I'm just hoping it doesn't crack because it's pretty green. It's pretty green.
Yeah, put some oil on it.
It's gorgeous.
But it's maple, and right now it's got Howard feed wax on it.
Yeah, the first thing I thought when I saw it was Knights Templar.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
With a
Yeah.
flame on top. It is gorgeous.
Yes.
But other than that, I've just been busy trying to rough all this stuff out before I lose it. I got a pile of it.
What's the back look like?
Wonderful.
Oh, the back?
Yeah. Nice.
Very
Beautiful
work.
Don't worry.
Don't drop it. Don't drop it.
Yeah.
Gonna give us all a heart attack.
I'm just trying to figure out how I can make an appropriate chalice to go with it.
Ooh, yes, that would be perfect.
Yeah, I can help you with that.
He's good at chalice.
Oh, I may be in touch.
All man.
But that's it. That's all I've done this week.
Thank you, Dave.
Nice job.
Thank you.
Was that a
All right,
Band-Aid
Eddie.
you're wearing? No.
Me? Me? No.
Yeah, I thought you were wearing a Band-Aid. Okay.
No.
You're good.
Band-Aid wearing has to be approved by Brenda's Band-Aid Brigade.
He's seeking members, I guess.
Yeah. Well, Brenda hasn't been wearing a lot lately, so you know.
Nope. I did get my thumb caught in the spindle yesterday. It's okay.
Don't tell us about it, okay? And whatever you don't, show me a wound. Come on, I got brain damage.
I didn't get no Band-Aid.
No.
Hey, we're just talking about safety, Brenda, not too long ago, and now you're bringing up unsafe acts.
Yeah. Well,
That's how we learn how things need to be safer, is by those little nicks and stuff.
yeah.
It's the universe telling us to watch out.
I mean, a little while ago, Dean told us that a pen blank could knock your lights out, and he's right. It's that fast. Don't think it won't get me this time. It'll get you. All right, is it time to go to Dane for our demonstration?
Yeah,
Sounds
sure.
good.
Give me a couple minutes here to set my phone up.
All right. Well, Brenda, do we have a gallery or two we can pop out while Dane's doing that?
Nope. That's it. Dane did them all.
All right.
Anybody else?
I have a tip.
Go for it, Billy. Wait, Billy. What are you painting tonight?
Actually, I haven't painted anything.
Right.
That's all dyes and stains. But quick little tip: if you want to knock back your finish or denib a finish, and you don't have any 400 grit sandpaper, and you don't want to have to deal with the metal pieces from steel wool, use a piece of brown paper sack. Seriously, same as 400 grit sandpaper. Regular brown paper grocery sack. Just take you a piece, tear it off, cut it off, whatever, and that will denib your finish and burnish your wood and still leave you with a nice shine.
That's an idea. It is.
Thanks, Billy.
Yes, use it all the time. It's fabulous.
All right, Eddie, I'm set up, I believe.
I was asking Billy what he was painting because Billy's got a handful of YouTubes out there, and seems all of them he's got decorations on, and I look for them. I know the rest of y'all don't. I look for them.
I've been prepping some platters that I'm going to be doing a demo here in July for. So I'll be doing a demo here on Worldwide Woodturners in July. I've already scheduled it with Dane. And so I'm just prepping some platters to get them ready for that.
That'll work for us. Thank you, sir. And speaking of Dane, there's Dane. He's going to do some napkin rings for us tonight. And folks, here's the deal. I am now going to mute all members. I'm going to do a mute all. And that is because we don't want any background sounds. It's not that we don't want questions or comments, whatever. But we'd like you to hold your questions and comments, if you could, to the end of the demonstration, so that Dane doesn't, you don't want to break his stride, okay? It's not that he'll forget, you don't want to break his stride. So now with that, I just muted everybody, and Dane's going to unmute himself. There he is. And now here, Dane Chandler.
Hey, can't see my face, but with my hands. So, the last 2 weeks, Brenda's been doing bangles, and so the discussion came up about how to hold bangles on turning or finishing the inside of them. And so I thought a simple project to demonstrate that would be using a napkin ring technique. And this technique actually comes from our wonderful host, Eddie Castleman. He's got a excellent demo on doing napkin rings, and so I borrow extensively from what he's already figured out. You know, there's no sense in reinventing the wheel when it's already been created.
Thank you.
So as an example, here's some larger ones that I've made. Got a little bit of texturing on them. I don't know if they're coming through in the video. It's a white wood, so not very light. Simple bead, just frame the texturing. And done another set last night. Practice run. Just doing some simple die on the center band, simple bead on the outside. What we're going to use tonight is a piece of Arizona ash. Very forgiving wood. It's hard, but it's straight grained and it cuts really good. So we're going to rough this down. We're going to take it down to about 2 inches in diameter. We're going to frame out the number of napkin rings we can get from it. So we can probably get, at least 5 of them out of it. We're probably only going to do about 3 on them. And I'm going to show the improvised jam chuck that I use for holding napkin rings. And then I have had a larger one for bangles, but unfortunately I can't find it. I don't know if I've got it in another jam chuck bucket. Haven't perused to figure out what I did with it or what, but anyhow, so I'll go ahead and show it. So it's straight up jam chuck. And sometimes when you bore through the center of your ring for it to hold and press onto your tenon, sometimes they're at it'll require so a little additional diameter. So I've split it 4 ways, cross cut that way and cross cut that way, and then prior to doing that, drilled the hole, tapped it, and I put in a larger wood screw, and you just tighten that in to fan the 4 quarters to hold your piece. And so we'll see how that works. Should we need to use that function later on here. So first, we're gonna round this down. Is everybody hearing me okay?
Sounds good to me, sir.
Sounds
yeah,
good.
we got you.
All right.
Gotcha.
So I'm using a stub center being held inside my chuck. Got an approximately 2 3/4 inch square on this side and 2 1/2 on this side. So like I said, we're just going to round this down and get ourselves a nice little cylinder. We should get a little bit of good character out of here because there's a lot of piece that had a lot of limbs coming off of it. So We'll see how it goes. So first we're going to use a roughing gouge. I'm going to use a 1-inch roughing gouge. We'll turn this thing around. The speed that I'm turning at is the speed I'm comfortable with. Just remember, as long as you keep your hands on this side of your tool rest, you're not going to hurt your hand. Always make sure you got everything tightened down correctly. I almost didn't there. So you see I'm doing a slicey cut, and I'm also taking off a huge amount of material at the same time. As long as you're coming through at an angle somewhere between 30 and 45 degrees, you're going to make nice shavings. You don't want to be going straight in. That's for a different technique, for a different type of turning. That's found in stair styles. We're just going to rough this down, and we'll throw a skew on there to get a nice plain surface that can only be damaged by sandpaper. This is a good way to check to see if you're fully round. I think I am. Yep. So I'm just going to cut a tenon on this side so I can mount it inside my chuck. You can go ahead and put the roughing gouge up. It's already served its purpose. So now I'm just going to cut a tenon. First, I'm going to clean the face up. I've got a Vic bar chuck, so I need to put a little bit of a dovetail in there. You don't need a huge tenon. You really don't need a huge tenon on anything that you turn. As with all of my demos, or anytime I'm turning, whether it's a demo or not, I always knock my wood chips away before I move my tool rest or I move my tailstock, because I don't want wood chips getting caught underneath it. God, I've got this chuck. I'd be not trying to knock it out. You got to secure it with your chuck. That's a no-no. All right, so I got about a 1/4 inch tenon on there. Got 2 holes here, Chuck. Use them. manufacturer put them there for a reason. All right. I'm just going to advance my live center here. Always restart the lathe as I'm advancing the live center into it to make sure it's drilling per se correctly. Let's set our tool rest up. Skewing action, a little bit of skewing action. And so when you're using a skew, you always want to think about this being a clock face here on your chuck. Up on top, that's 12 o'clock. You want to be cutting somewhere around 10:30 to 11:30. If you start straightening up your bevel and going in straight, or anything beyond 45 degrees, you're going to be getting massive catches. Once again, it doesn't matter about speed. You want to see that you're holding your bevel, or you've captured your bevel onto the wood piece. You're holding it the right way. All you got to do is turn a little bit. You'll see wood shavings coming off. Is that coming through on the video?
Yes.
Looks
Awesome.
good.
All right. So, speed her up here. Once again, turning at a speed that is comfortable for me, myself. All I want to do is a nice clean surface on here.
Dane, we have a whole lot of shield. Can you move your camera back? Can you move your camera back about 6 inches?
Which way? That way or
That way.
this way?
No, that way. Nope. Away from
that
you.
way.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, just because we're seeing some of your top of your head.
Got it.
That's good right there, I think.
Okay.
That should be, yep. Good. Thanks, Dane.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yep, perfect.
You'll notice when you're using a skew, you want to use the bottom third. You're cutting with the heel, bottom third. You're skewing on this side with the toe. Again, it's the bottom third. I can really feel the knots in this wood as I'm cutting it. All right, let's see where we're at. Well, that looks real good. That's a finish ready for 340. Let's see how close we are. 2.5 inches. I believe that'll work. And so next, I want to lay out. Next, I want to clean, make this side nice and straight. And so that's done. So in staying with the napkin ring image, these are approximately 1 inch in diameter. So we're going to take our calipers and we're going to lay out 1 inch dimensions. However, we're going to be using parting tool to go in and score part way down through the wood stock, through the spindle here, which in turn is going to allow for us coming in with a mortising, with a Forstner bit that's going to cut everything perfectly with the perfect inside diameter, and it's going to pair everything off perfectly, and you don't have to worry about using your parting tool the full way. One thing with a parting tool that gets missed on a regular straight parting tool as this, not the diamond, is they come, they seem like they're milled flat, but they're not, and that's what causes a lot of the wood burn, a lot of the binding when you're going in. So in this particular instance, we don't want to make a relief cut when we're going in and making this cut. So similar to sharpening and prepping your scrapers, I believe Scott Hampton covered this on one of his sharpening demos. You want to flatten the sides of your parting tool. That'll prevent a lot of the catches and a lot of the wood burn that you will get that's going to be covered over or carried back onto the actual parting tool here. It's no different than taking a bench chisel and flattening it in order to get a proper cut on flat wood, or a plane iron. You flatten the back in order to get a proper surface, in order to get a proper sharpened bevel. Does that make sense?
Works for me.
All right. So with that, my parting tool is 1 1/8 of an inch, and I want to have approximately 1 inch.
These are 1 inch wide, Dane?
Yes.
Okay.
So I want to have 1 inch wide rings. So you're going to set your calipers at, add on the thickness of your parting tool. And for mine, it's 1/8 of an inch. And all you're going to do is line up the outside caliper point. You're going to gradually rotate the front caliper point just to score that wood.
I've got one other question, Dane. You said something about relief cuts. Do you make a relief cut first, or how does that going to work?
Well, depending upon the type of embellishment you're going to do.
Okay.
You're going to use a texturing tool. you'll do your texturing first and then make your relief cut. There's my mark. And since this is a light colored wood, I'm not gonna use the texturing tool on it. But if you're aimed to use a texturing tool on it, you would go ahead and do your texturing now prior to making your parting cut inside. And the reason for that is it's far easier to do it on a consistent surface as opposed to hopping over the gaps that's created by the parting tool. And so when you're cutting, so you laid it out 1 1/8 of an inch. So you want to make sure that you're cutting on the left-hand side of your mark that you just laid out. Knots are doing me no favors.
But they're gonna look so good.
Yeah, hopefully. Every cut's been on a knot. Done with that. Sweet. I need to clean. Got some splintering on that, so let me clean that up. So next, what I want to do is I want to cut in some beads. I'm just going to eyeball it 3/16 of an inch. This works really well if you've done any type of texturing. We'll see how that goes. I'm going to use my 1/2 inch skew for that. First, I'm going to make my V cut. And so for doing beads, what I have found that normally works for myself is I will look at the bead portion that you've laid out and think of it in halves. And so I would work first half of it, second half of it, and come back and do the same thing on the opposite side of the bead that you're trying to cut in. And the motion is, again, finding your bevel, you're rotating up, and you're lifting, not necessarily with the tool handle. You can do the tool handle lift, but if you just use your body, lift with your knees, straightening up your body as you're coming forward, with the turn, you should be able to get a pretty decent bead. And so, no different than if you're doing it with the heel, you can do the same thing with the toe. I prefer to use the toe because I can see, as they say, around the curve better. And for me, cutting with the toe just works better for me. Light cuts, rotate, lift. And because of muscle memory, typically you want to go do all the ones that have your left-hand side first. And then come back and do your right side. Cut, rotate, lift. Cut, rotate, and lift. Since I've been back from my trip, and depositing my wife up to take care of her grandmother, I don't have my muse with me anymore. I'll be honest, I've struggled turning here as of late. I blame it on her.
Works for me. I do that all the time.
Well, true, but you only do that quietly.
Y'all just need to turn more.
We talk about it. It's weird. It's a weird feeling that I've been going through.
I think it's sweet that you're missing her.
Yeah, well, 27 years, you know. Finding it, rotate, then you do a catch. Okay, plenty of meat for that one to be picked.
Dan, I don't want to be a buzzkill, but what about a beating tool? Just a question.
What?
What about doing that with a beating tool?
Oh, that'd be far easier.
I like what you're doing. I just want to give other options.
Oh yeah, a beating tool would work great.
You're talking about a beating parting tool, or you're talking about the tool that you just shove in?
You just shove it in. It's one made by D-Way or half a dozen other folks. I've got the D-Ways in about 4 or 5 different sizes.
Just taking down the inside.
And I picked that up at SWAT watching a guy do a demonstration. Just, I gotta have that.
Yeah, I have the D-Way beating tools also, and I love them. I don't have the full set. I just have 3 of them, but they're really useful.
There's the catch.
Don't do that, okay?
I know, right?
All right.
Hey, it happens. All right, so now we're going to set it up for the Forstner bit. Maybe. Go ahead and remove the live center, obviously.
If you members can see that decal on his tailstock, that's worldwidewoodturners.org's club logo. A couple of years ago, I had picked up some of the trade, and I was pointing them off to members for the cost of freight. Had somebody approach me the other day that may be able to do that for us and put it on a website where you can just go and order it through PayPal or whatever, and you'll be paying for the sticker plus the freight, and that's all that'll be on it. No add-ups, no markups, anything. We're working on it. There was a couple of hundred go out the first time. I'm going to try to make a deal with them. What size bit is that?
I don't know about that size.
Oh, okay.
2 inches.
That's side to side. How about top to bottom? Same size?
1 3/4 by the width is a 1/2 inch. So I won't be using my chuck, so we'll be creating a jam chuck out of this piece here. All right, so got it chucked up. The Jacobs chuck for the Forstner bit. Dan, your Jacobs chuck's got 3 holes on it. At a minimum, tighten your bit up with 2 of them. It's the worst thing imaginable, especially if you're doing a vase. When you get down in there, your Forstner bit breaks loose from the chuck and gets stuck inside the wood because of the friction and the heat and the expansion. And it is not a good deal.
I've read about that someplace.
Yeah, I've seen videos on it. It's pretty funny sometimes. But essentially what's going to happen, you're going to wind up losing your piece. So another, same thing, when we're talking about flattening and, where flat work merges into round work. Same with Forstner bits. They need to be, as they come to you from the hardware store, right from the manufacturer, they come to you dull. They are not sharp. So you need to flatten and sharpen this inside face. Once you get that taken care of, then you've got a proper edge to be left on your Forstner bit. And you'll know you've got a sharp Forstner bit when you start getting pencil sharpener like shavings when you're drilling. Control box over. I drill approximately 300 RPMs. Gradually push this in. So you can see the shavings coming off. That's how you know you got a sharp Forstner bit. However, it's still not tight enough. See it twist? Cut a little bit, back it out. Cut a little bit, back it out. So what this is going to do, you're going to drill through, and where you parted through, the ring is just going to slide back. First one off. And so what you want to do is you want to twist counterclockwise to get these off. And you continue on to the next one. And we'll do one. That one I didn't part through enough. that. Of course, it's probably going to go flying. Now, if I just had one of them grabber sticks. I'm just going to go ahead and part that one off as well. And then we'll make our chuck, the jam chuck for it. We're just going to use the Forstner bit here to identify the outside diameter that we need to try and turn to. This Forstner bit out, Jacob's chuck out. Any questions while we're changing tooling?
You're going to, you showed us a collet chuck earlier, and this time you're going to use a jam chuck, correct?
Well, the other was this is a jam chuck as well, except I just quartered it, and I used a screw to expand it for when it's, and there's a different, as opposed to using napkins or paper when you shape the inside and flip it around. But in this instance here, since I didn't make them this diameter, this is actually set up for napkin rings, for 1.5 inch inside diameter napkin rings. And this is 1 3/4. So just show how to make the jam chuck. We'll just work through it.
That is very similar to what Brenda showed us early in a meeting tonight. She made one for bracelets.
Yes.
Yes, and I have that one with me now. So when Dane's done.
Good. Thank you, Brenda.
So the Forstner bit gave us a approximate diameter to turn to. Got plenty of wood here. Let's sneak up on it. It'd be swell if we could just throw that tool on there and turn exactly to that diameter. It's rare if that ever works. Oh, so close. It looks like we're using napkin. For toilet paper. Cheaper than napkins. So just like jam, you know, typical jam chuck. Well, chamfer on it. I like it. All right. Got a ring adhered to the jam chuck. Now all you got to do, what you could do, if you have a boring head, which I also have, normally what I would use, boring head, go in and clean up your inside faces. But for purposes of this, grab yourself a 1/4-inch bowl gouge or 1/4-inch spindle gouge, and you just want to gradually scrape inside, almost close for the flute. You're going to catch that bottom wing, just to scrape on the outside. You'll bring it around to clean up the outside surface where the porcelain bit cut. Real light touch. That side's done. Pop it off, put it around. Sure you're still rolling congruent. And repeat. Again, nice and light touches with the tool. Now we have a cleaned up inside.
Beautiful.
This one feels like it has 2 sheets. Same thing. Side. Nice light touch. The flute is almost closed up. And then about 9:30, just doing a clock face. I'll also tip my tool down similar to in the fashion that you do with scraper. Good to cut. Now a little toilet paper can tighten things up. Last one. Actually, one more. Well, I got this piece on. Show it earlier before I started cutting them off. Wanted to add dye to them. You do it while it's all one piece after you've got everything framed out that you want to have framed out for detail wise. So say you just wanted to dye the inside band. Come in with your dye. Just like so.
Wait, isn't that almost cheating?
Almost. Just almost.
Didn't put a diaper down.
There
I
you go.
didn't spill any. But I didn't spill any.
You got some on your tool rest.
Oh, tool rest is okay.
We can't see his forehead. That's where it's sprayed to.
Right.
Yeah, that face mask, right? Got it.
Exactly.
All right, members, explain to your spouse why you're bringing toilet paper to the workshop.
Yeah, I know, right?
I was told don't take the good stuff. Go to Dollar General and get my own stuff.
I need to use a lathe diaper to protect my bedways, but I keep forgetting. I'm always in too big a hurry.
One of these times you're going to remember, Billy.
Actually, Dane, you do.
Fiasco.
Maybe.
Dane, you do have some on your bed.
I'll send you
Right
one of
there.
Cass's.
Oh, there it goes.
Okay.
That was just sawdust.
Okay, it wiped off.
He got it off with his skin because his skin will grow back, right, Dane?
Not as important as the lathe either.
Exactly.
I don't know. It's the biggest organ in our body.
That's that right.
For us heavy duty guys, that's a lot of organ.
Yeah.
Well, until it grows back, there's always CA glue.
Right. But if you go to Dollar General, I found out they got rolls that have 1,000 sheets on a roll, and it's no bigger than the one you get with 300 sheets at the grocery store.
Buy 2-ply and then separate it. You got 2,000.
You know, like who actually counts those sheets?
No, right?
They may be cheating you out of 4 or 5 sheets, Captain.
They probably are.
Doesn't Cheryl Crow count
Stuff like that
sheets?
is way counted. It's way counted in inventory and manufacturing.
Well, we went to the cellars on that one, didn't we? All right.
No sense in going halfway, Eddie.
I know. But Brenda didn't stay quiet. You know, we give what you.
Got to give him a hard time when you can.
No kidding.
Right?
If it isn't fun, what is it?
What's a little harassment among friends, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Dean, you see that stuff on the floor?
What is it?
I think it's called shavings. You should get some for your shop.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
believe
Dean.
me, I'll restock.
Okay.
Mine stays stocked.
So does
Mine
mine.
too.
I don't
So if
shovel it out till it's at least
So you
shin
can
deep.
put the finish on as a long cylinder, and all it would be left to do is to finish the inside after you the Forstner bit coming through the cylinder to cut them off, or you can finish them individually. And if you're using super glue, CA, all you got to do, instead of using napkin or paper towel, use wax paper as your shim, and super glue does not stick to wax paper. So you can finish everything on the lathe with your CA.
Ooh.
You can't buy wax paper. The guy at the grocery store told me they quit making it.
There we go.
Nice
Very nice,
job.
Dane.
Simple.
Now I gotta make me a jam
Great
chuck.
demo, Dane.
Nice.
Okay, Dane,
Sorry, I
Dane,
wasn't able
Nice,
to use
Dane.
my regular jam chuck with the screw quarters, but that alleviates having to use paper for
I don't know
napkins
about
and
you, Brenda, but I got a
Go up
box
the
full of those things.
Oh, the jam chucks?
Yep.
No,
Oh, I do.
don't have that
I've got
many of them
I've got
yet.
a shelf, and I've got 3 5-gallon buckets.
Also called waste blocks, also called,
be
Yeah.
careful.
right.
Don't call them scrap wood.
nope, I didn't do that.
All right.
And then so
Oh, birdhouse material.
There you go.
There you go.
and always make sure you designate. Typically, you want to do this at the beginning. You want to designate your jaw number 1. or jaw number 4, whichever jaw you can remember, stick it back in. And as long as you put this back into jaw number 1, it is always going to run through. It's not going to be out of round by a fraction of a millimeter, fraction of an inch. You ain't going to have to resurface it. So there you have it. That's the easy way to do ring turning.
Thank you,
without
Dane.
using a boring head. Boring heads are really cool. But that goes into your live center. Got your adjustment, put your cutter in. So the live center, determines the feed rate, going inside to clean something up. And we have an adjustment on the side that will shift this cutter over a fraction of an inch at a time. So this is.
I already have one.
I've never seen one.
It's a fun toy for bangles, anything like that, rings.
Put that in the chat, will you, Dane?
What?
Put that in the chat where you bought that or what it is.
Yeah, okay, I'll send you the link of the one that I got.
One additional thing. Let me add some. One additional thing that cutter will do. It will cut a straight in, and you can dial it into 1/1000th of an inch, so you actually can put a sleeve over a box.
Yes.
It allows you to step sleeves over boxes and turn them down to 1/16th of an inch, and so when you cut through, you can see all the different layers and stuff. So.
Right. Yeah, it's a handy gee whiz thing.
I suppose it's real expensive. Is it real expensive? Is it real expensive?
It's between 100 and 200. I don't even remember.
It looked expensive.
I'll find my link.
Well, thanks, Dane.
In the chat. So.
Great job, Dane.
Nice demo,
Thanks,
Dane.
Dane. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, guys.
Great deal, Gene.
Helped me a lot.
Thank you, Dane.
Right on.
Gonna have to make me a jam chuck now.
Good. And like I said, Eddie's got a real good video on it. I remember watching it. Wow, I think he's still got his videos up. But I remember watching it, I don't know, probably 6-7 years ago. I'm doing napkin rings, that style. So Eddie, you still got your stuff up?
Yes, sir. It's still there. It's still there. I have
Okay.
two channels now. It was a mix-up when I had my brain thing. And we shut one down. Oh, it started another one up. But they're all there. You can search for them, and they'll all be there.
If I get a chance, I'll search for it and put a link out there for it. Either for you know what? I'll find it and then I'll send it to Dave so he can attach it as an addendum to this demo.
Cutting out.
Sounds good.
That'll work. Now, would you folks? That was Dane Chandler. He's our gallery master. He also lines up our demonstrations for us. If you're interested in doing a demonstration, you get a hold of Dane through the chat or et cetera, et cetera. But we just talked napkin rings. And earlier in the evening at this meeting, we were talking bracelets with Brenda. Now, Brenda's still with us right now, and Brenda had developed a jam chuck. No, I'm sorry, a squeeze chuck. Brenda, you still have that piece around?
Yep. Hold on a second. Yep. It's just like the one Dane showed.
There it
is. Yep. You got the cuts and slice. I didn't put a screw in mine because I just used the tailstock. And there you can see where I put the bracelet on it. Up here, I'll show you. Okay, this one don't fit.
Row.
Yep. This one does. See there? It's kind of loose. Right? And I've even marked it where this is where mine fits at. And when you put your tailstock in there and tighten it down, it expands it and makes it tighter. So you can actually put it right here even and expand it, and it would be tight right here.
Yep.
And see down here, I've done just like Dane said. Part number 1, put it back on the chuck. And I even wrote it's a bracelet jig. So
it's like a giant reverse collet chuck.
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yep.
Now I have a set of chucks. Whoop, wrong table. I have a set of chucks that same way that expand, and you put it into a, say you have a small boxer jar and it's got a 1-inch depression in it. Here we go. Got a depression and you want to open into it. This is, it's a brand name, and I wish I could see it. But you put them in, they come in different sizes, and it'll open up about 1/8 of an inch. And I have it from 5/8 to 2 inches, I believe. And you put them in and hold it, and they can be held in your Jacob's chuck to line it up. And that's one way of holding something to finish the exterior. Well, what Brenda just showed you is, pardon me, Kim, shop scraps. And it can be 2x4. It can be anything you turn, but whatever you do when you make one, don't throw it away. Do like Dane does, and other got a 5-gallon bucket full of them. And when you need a jam chuck for something, you probably have it.
I also
go ahead and put me on, and I'll show these guys what a manufactured one looks like.
All right, show us. All right, wait, I'm getting back to you.
Okay, so this is one screws straight on the, yeah, it does. It just went blank, sorry.
Spindle.
Sense to me.
That screws on your spindle.
Thank you. Those technical words. So basically all it is a piece of metal that, as that screw comes in, it expands it out, does the same thing as the one Brenda just made. But as you tighten that down, it's going to expand out, or you got different sizes you can use. And it does the exact same thing as taking a piece of wood, cutting it 4 ways, and putting your jam chuck in, or putting your chuck into it.
Nifty way.
And the piece of wood's a whole lot cheaper.
Yes, mine was a whole lot cheaper.
Brenda, are you expanding that with a cone? Is it by pushing your tailstock into it? Is that how that works?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yep. And I watched it on YouTube this morning.
Yeah, put a following relief in it that be shaped sort of like your cone, so it centers itself, and then as you go in, it will expand it. And we're talking about early in the meeting is, Brenda just showed us it was on there straight. But say you want to get crazy, and you want to kick it off to a side and not get lines that go just like this. Maybe you want the lines to cross over, maybe the other way, so you have sort of like a
Celtic knot.
A Celtic knot. Yes, I'm sorry, I could see the word, but I couldn't say it. But
it must be catching.
Yeah. Totally blank. But you can, Brenda's chuck will allow you to do that, the reverse collet, because you can kick it a little bit. And we were talking earlier, if you kick it a little bit and you're worried about it slipping or not slipping, put one strip of blue painter's tape right where the collet, right where the bracelet will go. It gives you the availability to kick it a little bit. And remember, you have it the shape, and now you want to decorate it, or
you want to go Bob Moffat on it, and or Bob Moffat. Come on. Yeah, Bob Moffat with the texture. You want to go Bob Moffat crazy on it, and you want to texture it. That'll help you do it.
Go off center.
Yeah, you're right, off center. And you see, I'm saying Bob Moffat crazy because we see some unique stuff, and Bob's one of the folks that turn out some unique stuff for us. And it's simply a napkin ring, simply a bracelet. It's simply a vessel, a bowl, a platter, a plate, spindle, yada, 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 yada. There's no simple about these things. It's all technique. We share them here. If you've got something to share, we're open and ready for it. And if you like to show something on gallery,
hey Eddie,
go please.
Yes, I go along with Brenda. What she has with the tailstock to expand that. But if you take and build a hole, bore a hole all the way through that thing and put a nut on the other end of it, and you could put a screw, a flathead screw, and you can draw that flathead screw and it will expand it.
Yeah, a stove bolt like, yes.
Yes, I got it in my hand if you want to see it.
Yeah, we can see it when you head it up there, Dave.
Yeah, and the thing is, when you expand, when you put the nut on the end of it, it will actually draw it in, and it will expand to any size. Really, you can make it any size. But the thing is, when you do those, you don't want to slide it in too far on your bracelet, because that way you can't do the inside and the outside blending. You have to have like a collar on there so that it could only go so far and then tighten it up.
Yes.
Okay, like a receiver.
Yeah, it would be like a collar where you're backing up to that collar, then expand it, and then you could do the inside blending to the outside, and then you just turn it around to the outside. That's the way I've been doing it. So I mean,
hey, it's tips and tricks. Yeah. That's why we do this, really, tips and tricks. We're going to go back to gallery right now. Brenda and Dane are taking up our gallery stuff. All you have to do is put it in the chat. It says, I've got something to show. And Brenda or Dane will call on you. When they call on you, introduce you, please start talking.
We got Randy Smith.
I was going to show a piece that I have on here. I use it to.
You can't.
She lays here. I have nothing to show. I couldn't find the picture, so sorry.
Oh well. Let's go to Bob Moffat then.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
All right, Bert. How's Bob? How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
I'm all righty.
I decided to turn a little Christmas ornament. I didn't want to make it too big.
The tree's going to lean to one side.
It's got a capture ring on it.
Oh, look at that. Look
That's pretty big,
that
Bob.
is.
That is neat, man.
Oh my goodness.
I
Like a nice earring.
I assume you hollowed it out, right?
Yeah. I took a shortcut. I didn't hollow it out.
Oh, you cheated. You're cheating.
I was going to use the my Jameson hollowing system to hollow it out, but it took too long to get it out there.
You do that and allow Jameson to come over and kiss you on the lips. I mean, that's good. Project.
This is a platter I did out of a piece of spalted poplar.
Wow.
I thought the spalted was too pretty to color on this.
You are correct. That's pretty. Right. Very nice.
Beautiful piece.
It's like a landscape.
And this is one I did out of a piece of oak.
What do you see, Brenda?
Oh, come on.
This beautiful piece of wood. This is the back of it. And I just carved some squiggly lines in it.
Nice.
Looks like I knew what I was doing, but I didn't.
I thought you put sun rays on it. Yeah.
And this is the front.
Nice.
Very nice.
And
just love those off.
The process,
That's pretty.
but it's
a little
nice.
burning in there.
That Lichtenberg stuff scares me.
Me too.
Well, you gotta be, you gotta take it seriously.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's dangerous.
When I do it, I've got tennis shoes on and I'm standing on a rubber mat. And I don't have my watch and my ring on, and I have it on a wooden stand with a rubber mat on top of it, and I only hold one lead. And,
there you go.
And I use big electrician gloves too.
Yeah, I use electrician gloves that come up to here.
Yeah.
And when I've demoed it a couple times, and I had these gloves that came up to about here, and I just hold my finger up like this and ask who was first.
All right, family.
No volunteers, I guess.
I couldn't understand it.
This won't make it past the censors. Come on.
Hey,
Thank you, Bob.
Dean Grimes, do you still have something?
Yes, I got something I can show you
All
guys.
right.
You know, as I was cleaning up the shop last week, I found a plate, and I found it as I knocked it off the table and broke the edge off of it. So I'm throwing it away. The wife says, well, let me take that and practice on it. So I just wanted to show you guys what she did practicing. And I just hate that it was on a broken plate.
That's some pretty decent practice right there.
That's what I was
That's
thinking.
gorgeous.
So guess who's going to be turning plates for her to practice on now?
I think that's sellable. You just sand the bit that broke off flat, and you're good to go.
Well, I wish she'd have turned it the other way, and I would have just made a base for it.
Oh, there you go.
Right.
Or you could still make it into a wall hanger the way it is. Just sand it flat up on
You
top.
can make it as put a shelf across the top of it, make it like the bottom of a shelf.
Well, I promise you, it's mine. It's not going anywhere.
Glue it back together.
Really nice.
She's gonna do a demo for us.
Cut the bottom off, and it'll be a parallel piece.
There you go. That's an idea.
Yeah.
It'll be symmetrical and look good.
I was gonna suggest you sand it down, turn it over, and then have her paint it again.
There you go.
I'm going to suggest that I'll do a demo for us.
What's that?
When is she going to do a demo for us?
I don't know, man. I tell you what, getting her on camera is a hard thing to do.
That is.
I filmed a shop tour. It'll be uploaded or go live Friday morning, and she was helping me with the camera. And at one angle, she realized the camera was pointing towards her. Well, they kind of stopped the filming at that point.
That sounds like my wife.
Yeah, mine too.
Get that camera off me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mine is one of the finest quilters in the world. Not a way in the world she'll let me turn the camera on in her studio.
See, I've been trying to talk my wife into letting me film her doing some of her paintings, because she did this in about 10 minutes.
Mercy.
And so, you know, it wouldn't be hard to film her, but no, she won't have anything to do with that.
Wow. Oh, well, keep working at it. I was about to say you can always change your mind, but that's a lie.
Yeah, let me know how that works for you, Captain.
Yeah. Let's be nice to women now.
Just film her hands.
Okay.
Let's go to Steve.
Steve's up. Hey, bud.
I'm here. You got me?
Yep.
Looks like you got me.
Of course.
Unmute myself.
No, you're unmuted.
You're
all
okay.
right.
Talk to us.
So I made a pine box. It's a small pine box. I turned it green, stuffed it in some sawdust in a paper bag for about 6 months, and this is what came out.
Pretty.
That's pretty.
That's cool.
Oh yeah.
Now I hesitate to show you the inside, but I'm going to do it anyway. That's the inside of the top.
Oh, nice.
Here.
I like that.
And this is the inside of the bottom.
Oh, I like those too.
That's a fine looking inside right there.
And it's a pretty good top on it.
It's tight fit.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for letting me share.
Nice.
Nice.
Oh, you're
job.
welcome, Steve. Thank
So you got that
Yeah.
shellac finish on the inside
Good
of the
job.
bottom, huh?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that type of shellac finish, is it?
Not at all.
No.
In case
Nice
folks
job.
didn't know, your M&Ms are coated in shellac.
Okay, let's not talk about that too much. I got a whole handful of M&Ms. They melt in my mouth, so it's okay. What's up, Terry? Terry, you're live and direct.
Yeah, I see I am. I don't know how I got live, but I did. Well, I promised
Didn't
you
you have
guys that I
something?
wouldn't. You hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we hear you. You had something to show, right?
Yeah, I do. I promised
Okay.
you guys I wouldn't show you any more lamps, but I lied. So I don't know how I'm going to show this one. Maybe I have to turn it off. No,
Rough
everything
up.
went dead. Whatever. How's that?
Oh
There
yeah.
you
That
go.
better?
Yeah.
I don't know how. I thought I might have to turn the camera around to show these, but I think you can see this one pretty good.
Oh, that's
But
nice.
it's still not
There
showing
you
what I want to see. I'm going to try to turn the camera around because I think I can show them better. Find that thing. Where are you? No. Ah, here. Okay. Are we around? Okay. If I get my hand up from in front of it, it'll be all right. Okay. There.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's nice.
Now you can see the
Oh,
now you can see the
man.
lampshade and the base.
Excellent.
Yes.
So that's what I'm going to
That's
show you.
pretty.
That's a piece of ash, and that's one of the only ones, and maybe a two that I turned side grain. The rest of them were all end grain. But that one I finished up last week, but I didn't get to show it, so I thought I'd show it to you. But then I decided on another one. We turn that one off and turn this one on.
Oh, wow.
Oh my goodness.
That
If
is
I can get it
pretty.
back.
He was
So-
just warming us up.
That's the close up of the base, so you can see the base. It's a piece
Yes.
of mesquite. And the top, the shade, that's end grain. That's a wormhole there, but that's
Looks
the
like a
end grain.
bird.
And you see where the bright yellow part is. There's a knot in it, and the shade right there. And I got a little catch, and I almost made a great big funnel. That's why it got that yellow line in it. So I wasn't totally pleased with that. So what I did was decided I would make another one to see if I could do any better. So idea. I'm getting it. There we go. So that's the second one that I made. And I thought it came out with a lot nicer color.
That's pretty.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
It's a
Terry-
little close.
Terry, what happens when them light bulbs get hot? How's that affect
They're
it?
LEDs. And
Okay.
they don't get hot. I've been running them for days and days. I just use LEDs in them.
Okay.
I tried them and made sure I could. I got it. I actually set a shade on the light bulb without a bracket and left it on all day long just to make sure I wasn't going to get any temperature out of it. And there don't have any problems at all, but you have to use LEDs. An incandescent bulb would definitely get hot.
Oh yeah.
So but that's that. But you know, Terry, I couldn't stop with that. So I just thought I would try one more. And that's the third one. And that one didn't go so well. It almost
Why?
turned into a funnel.
It looks
didn't
pretty
go
good to
through.
me.
It didn't go through, but it's really, really close. And I almost cut it off, almost made a funnel out of it.
So you got it as thin as you
Shaped
planned.
it. And then I figured I'll just make a cap for it. And I'm gonna glue a cap on there. I'm not sure that that's exactly the design that I'm gonna have. But something like that. And it kind of looks nice. So
Looks
now it
pretty
looks like
good.
I need to make a couple. Looks like I need a couple more bases. And then we'll go on. And I actually started another one, and you guys will probably be glad to hear that I've only got one piece of wood left.
No, not me. I'd like it. I like this.
No, yeah, I disagree with that, Terry, because I love your length.
Terry, I still got plenty left.
Gorgeous.
The one you got plenty left?
Yep.
The one I got on the day to show you next week, I worked on it all day, and I think you're going to be impressed. But we'll go into that next week. And that's all
I'm
I got.
impressed already.
Thank you. That's one of his running buddies, Joaquin from Corpus City's coming up in just a few moments. But they run together, and oh, there he is.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, this is a piece of that ash also, and this piece is finished, except it doesn't have a finish on it. It is just plain Jane. I'm not happy with it all. So I feel like I need to put some pyrography or some kind of texture or something on it. That's what's on the truck.
What's the wood, Joaquin?
Huh?
What's the wood?
It's ash. It's out of the same. Me and Terry collected this ash out of the same tree. And
Send that over to me. I'll claim that I could do it.
There's all kinds of helpful folks on.
You might try this on a test piece, Joaquin, but ash takes the grain really pops if you hit it with a torch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've done it on the inside. It doesn't do anything for me though.
Oh, okay.
And
I can't really see it, but okay.
Yeah, I see that my camera's not really picking up anything good.
It looks really good too if you dye it and you put liming wax on it.
I have thought of that, the dyeing, and so that's where I'm at, is deciding what I'm going to do with this piece. I'm not going to leave it plain. I'm going to do something to it. I don't know what.
I'd double dye it, triple dye it.
Yeah, Gary Lowe's got some beautiful ideas on the dye and incandescence and stuff.
Do you have an airbrush?
Yes, I do.
One of the things I did with a piece that was kind of plain was I airbrushed it a couple of different colors, going darker as I went down and spraying it up so it got lighter, so it looked like it had a lot of depth. And by the time I was down to the bottom, it was black on the bottom. So I had like 4 different colors, and it was very subtle, but it really added a lot of depth and to the piece.
I did do one like that with blue and yellow, and it turned out green in the middle.
I did. What I did was yellow, red, then blue, a little bit of blue, and then black at the bottom.
I'll try something. I'll show it when I get through. Well, last week, I showed that bird, and Bob says, "Well, you need to do a birdhouse." Well, I didn't do one that's big enough for that bird, but I took your challenge, Bob.
Good.
And
a nice one there.
Yeah, this is box elder. It kind of got some kind of punky, but I've never done a birdhouse before, and I've been wanting to. And this is a one made out of.
Ooh, nice.
I like that.
Love it.
I like that too.
That's pretty too.
Yeah, it's got the Ogligan roof.
Oh, look at that.
Wow.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
Let's see, what is this? This is.
That looks like a good thing for you to demo.
Well, Christmas is coming.
That's right.
That's where I sell the most is at Christmas.
Me and Joaquin are talking on demos.
Oh, do what? Oh, all right.
I said we're talking on demos.
Yeah, we're working on it. I can just
We are.
get the shop straightened out and get the camera service out there.
You need Dean to come over and clean it up for you?
Oh my gosh, it'd take him a week.
It took a week on this one.
Yeah. I mean, you ain't got a place to put anything. You run out of room to put it. But anyway.
Get Johnny to come over and clean it up.
Right on. Thanks, Joaquin.
You're welcome.
All right, let's get Greg Bray. Hey, Greg.
Hey, how y'all doing tonight?
Doing good.
Hey, Greg. Something I've been working on. I hadn't clipped the bottom off of it yet. Piece of box elder, and I think Dane, you got some of this. And
yep, sure did.
Nice. Ooh.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's nice.
Wow.
Oh, that's cool.
Wow.
I need to send you that
Nice
vase.
job, Greg.
What?
I need to send you that vase.
That's what I was thinking. Paint on that thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is nice.
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
A picture of the neighbor's horse. I have to look at this horse every day, so I paint it.
Right.
Beautiful work.
That's what I've been working on. I hadn't been able to turn much for the last couple of weeks, so I had a big project I was working on. So this is the first thing I've turned for a couple of weeks.
Well, it's worth it.
Yeah.
Good job, Greg.
Very good job.
Good job.
Thank you.
Good job.
All right.
All right. Well, hey, Cade, do you got anything?
Cade's always got something. Come on, Cade.
Yeah.
Have anything, buddy?
He's nodding. Yep.
Yep, I do. I'm just eating dinner, but I'll run downstairs and.
No. Eat your dinner. We'll come back to you.
All right.
Get while it's hot.
Been busy raising that baby all day. We've seen photographs. That kid's getting big.
Yeah, he's getting big, growing up quick.
Folks, we're doing gallery tonight. We also take your input, ideas, tips and tricks, whatever. We've seen several ways to hold pieces tonight. Several ideas on how to stabilize pieces, to accent them, etc. And earlier this evening, we were talking with Matt about his raised dot artwork. And somebody said you should do a birdhouse. Ask Birdhouse Bob and do a birdhouse with that raised dot. Matt, you still have that piece hanging around?
No, which one? Yeah, I do have it's here somewhere. What do I do with it? Yeah, it's right here. You're talking about this?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had talked about that. I'd made a few birdhouses, and I thought about doing dot patterns on the top of a birdhouse.
That'd be really cool.
That's cool.
Are you going to use that as a roof?
No. This is on a box. This is on a little walnut box.
Okay.
So, but y'all know. I mean, I love Bob's birdhouses, and they're inspirational. So, you start to think, you're like, okay, I've got this new technique, this new skill that I'm learning, and it's like, what do I do with it? And so, well, I got birdhouses. I can do stuff with the roofs of those. I've seen people do things on the, do the dots on the rims of bowls too, or platters. So that's also an option. So there's a lot of things you can do. So
what's that called?
Just dot painting.
Just dot painting, huh? Okay.
A lot of people who paint them paint what they call mandalas, or MANDALA. So if you search on YouTube, there's 1,000 videos on it. And I'm trying to learn how to do this better. So I've watched too many of them already, I think. But there's a couple of real basic, just a real, you're using these simple tools, and you're making dots. And I went into the shop yesterday or the day before yesterday and made myself, just took some dowels and tapered them down a little bit, so they're all a little bit different diameter. Okay. So I can do dots with those too. So the bigger dots I'm using these for, and then I'm using these little tools. A couple of these tools, you can buy a little tool set. I don't know if y'all can see that, but they've got little balls on the end. Okay. Yeah. And that's how you do the diminishing lines of dots, is you just dip it in the paint, and then as you go dot, 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 less paint comes off every time, so that each dot gets smaller. So
are the little tools that you just showed, is that better than the dowels, or?
Well, I used, all right. So there are big dots here, okay, like the silver ones and the purple one there. And I used, I mean, you can see which dowels I used here to do those with. Okay, this one's got a little bit of purple on it, and this one here has got a little bit of silver on it. So I used those dowels to do the bigger dots. Okay, and then I used, you know, just a tool like that with the end on it to do the smaller dots.
Would you need to put a sealer on the end of the dowel?
I did. I put a couple coats of sanding sealer on the end of the dowel just so it'd make it easier to clean off.
Yep. That's cool. You could turn all kinds of shapes.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything, you know, any surface that's you know, fairly open and blank, you could do stuff in, and there's a, you know, it's basically you're limitless about what kind of patterns you can do, and the basics to learn are really pretty easy. There's only a couple of things. You got a dot, you got a swoosh, and you got a curve swoosh, you know. So it's
Matt,
like
Matt,
these
Brenda,
little things.
Can Brenda do that on a bracelet?
Oh, sure.
All right.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, and Dane could sign her up for a demo on it. I mean, this is
we're working on
There
her.
you go.
We're working on her too.
got her all the time.
So on July 6th, I'm going to do the demo because you guys asked. I'm going to do the demo on dot painting on July 6th. So I will show you these basics, and I will show you a couple of techniques, and I will show you how to mix the paints right. And I'm just using basic craft stencil paints. They're acrylic paints, and I thinned them with a little bit with Floetrol, and to, you know, I had to play with that a little bit to get that right, but I'll show you what I did. And you know, I don't have a lot invested in this, so you know, the up leveling of your work is pretty high. So I'm looking forward to showing it.
Do you finish it with something?
Well, it's just acrylic paint. So anything else you've ever painted, you know, whether you're airbrushing or painting with acrylic paint, you can finish it. I have successfully finished painted pieces with spray lacquer, Minwax rattle can lacquer out of the aerosol cans, and Minwax polyurethanes out of the rattle cans. I mean, the trick is to spray light coats. You don't want to spray a heavy coat because things will reliquefy and run, right? Same, you know, same thing you're doing with any finish that you're spraying.
All right, thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Hey, Eddie.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, please.
I got a tip or trick to show.
All right.
So
I'm taking me out. You're in.
Should be.
Not him. What? There.
Again. There we go. So we're always talking about steady rest and the like. And so with a Powermatic, you have a duplicator. Well, in the 3520B and C, you have duplicator arms where you can set up between your centers the spindle or whatever it is that you're trying to copy. And so what I did is I took made myself a steady rest. Just used a square block, did a through hole, set in a nut, got a locking mechanism on top, and then this sits against your spindle, which prevents any flex when you're turning.
Oh boy, Dane, have you seen Steve Jones's steady rests that he uses?
No.
He's got a little sort of a round hook thing on there that he sort of just folds over his piece.
Oh yeah, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find that and send it to you.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah. So I found this to be beneficial.
That just gave me an idea, Dane.
Yeah, me too.
Right. And I also found I've been playing with the acrylics paints and whatnot, and sometimes I found, especially with super glue with the CA finishes, sometimes it'll melt the not melt. It'll make the paint run. So I'm still testing it out, but I'm finding out that a can of Aquanet, and I'm sure any can of hairspray will works as a great sealer of the paint, so you can put your finish on over without any worry of the paint becoming liquefied from the oil-based paint or oil-based finishes or CA that you're putting on. So I'm still testing out, but so far I haven't encountered any problems with hairspray inhibiting the finish, and it seems like it's doing a good job of setting acrylic paint.
Is that something you use on your hair?
Well, I used to. I don't think they make Aquanet anymore, do they?
Yeah, they do.
Not since the
Oh, do they?
70s, dude.
Well, it'd be about that time, man, I guess. I started going bald about the time I turned 7. So.
That tip came from us because his wife is not home and doesn't know he's using her hairspray.
That's a fact.
Don't tell.
All right, y'all be careful now.
I can't believe you figured that out. Don't tell.
Yeah. What you do? Don't spoil the curry because.
We're all looking at you and thinking the same thing, Dane. We're all looking at you and thinking the same thing. He doesn't have any hair. What's he doing with hairspray?
Yeah, right? Well, it's from my beard when I grow it out, get it all nice.
Braid it.
I think Kate is back in the shop, and we have to bail out of this and go to something. Come on.
All right, let's go to Kate here.
All right. Hi, everyone. Hope all is well. I have a couple of things to show. I had a demo on the weekend, so I have a couple practice pieces. I did a dress rehearsal first. And this is the piece I turned in my dry run. I turned a lotus bowl. This is out of tulip poplar. And then I had this piece. Now the tulip poplar, this was kiln dried wood I got from the lumber yard. Now this piece is also tulip poplar, but it has some nice spalting in it. And this came from my friend's yard. He cut it down probably, I don't know, 6 years ago or so. And I've been drying it and it's spalted slightly. It's got a much richer color than the kiln dried stuff I got.
Oh, yeah.
And so those two were my dress rehearsal, just sort of my practice run. And I thought, okay, I'll do something bigger for my demo. So I had a big piece of rock maple, which is very hard stuff. It's hard maple. It grows only in rocked areas. So it was very hard, dense stuff. Bevel rubbing cuts, slow and steady. And also, once I got into that, I found that it had a crack in the end grain, which we can see in the center. There's a couple cracks in the center there. So we just hoped that it wouldn't fly apart, and we continued with the demo. Just again, bevel rubbing, slicing cuts, light cuts, to minimize the drag on the wood to prevent explosions. Also, I didn't go as thin as I usually would. We can also see on the bottom there was a crack that came through here, but yeah, it turned out well. And
really pretty.
Nice job,
Kate.
Beautiful. Nice, Kate.
And then I've been restocking up some of my stores and shops, as well as my stock for festivals, because they're a good seller. Spurtles, but spurtles can also double as wands, and they're great skew practice or spindle practice. So here I have a bucket full.
Hi.
Boy, you give those to Cash, would have a great time. Give
Right?
those to Cash.
There'll be drumsticks. He'll be beating the cat. He's already chasing the cat, and they're starting to play together. But Eventually the cat gets enough and takes off.
I'll bet you there'll be swords before they're drumsticks.
Yeah, they could be swords too. They'll probably start beating on the snake tanks and stressing out my snakes. But yeah, he's on the verge of walking. He's walking in his walker. You know what? That car I push him around everywhere in? He's starting to climb out of the car. He goes to the front of the hood and he pushes the car.
There you go.
So he's going to be walking in no time. And then I have one last thing to show, and they're on my bedway. So I'm just going to flip my camera here.
Oh my.
Well,
Now
very
these
distinctive.
are
Those are nice.
These are, yeah, cattails or bulrushes. They're hollow in the center, so the client can put them in their garden. Now, a friend of mine had an order for these in England, and the customer is here in Ontario, 10 minutes east of me. So he asked me if I would mind making them for him, and he would pay me what he sold them for, and he would save money on the shipping. And I said, sure, no problem. Just send me the address. He sent me the address. I Googled it, and it's literally 10 minutes east of me. So I'm going to deliver this package, hand delivered from England, in a couple days. So
by hand,
Roll
in person, by hand.
Yeah, pretty quick delivery. So
Are those ash? Are those ash, Kate?
These are red oak.
Okay.
They're made out of red oak and they're torched. So there's no finish on them at all. The torching actually seals the wood and makes it waterproof. So you don't have to apply the finish, and it will age with the weather and the sun, and it'll age over time. So yeah.
The torching also keeps the insects from being interested in it.
Yeah, that's true. It won't get infested by bugs.
Thank you, Kate. Beautiful work tonight. Beautiful work, sir. Thank you so much.
Nice.
We're going to pop into Doug Miller.
Let's go to Doug Miller here. Real quick. He's got a message for the group.
Hey, Doug.
I wanted to share with everybody. I don't know how many folks saw it on Facebook. We mentioned Kim Tippin a little earlier. She's going through some tough time right now. We all know they sold their house. They've had to live in a camper, 2 campers, moving about a couple of times. House has had some last minute changes and those kinds of things. But their air conditioner went out the other day in the camper. And so she's a little down. If you have a chance, go on Facebook and just drop her a note of encouragement. Just tell her we're thinking about her and we look forward to seeing her again. But just she just needs a little help up.
A little inspiration.
Yeah.
Thanks, Doug.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks for letting us know.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Give her a
All right,
message,
with
folks. Friends take care of friends, so drop her a line. Let her know.
Yeah, a little inspiration never helps. So with that, let's go back to the Southern Hemisphere.
Him!
Hey,
What's
Donald.
he got?
Donald.
It's about that time for him to say, save the chat.
He's going to say oysters.
I thought I'd say this. I had to do 200 of these for a wedding.
Oh my.
They're black heart sassafras from Tasmania.
Can you put
Or-
right? Can you go to your right a bit?
A little bit more. There you go.
There we are.
There we go.
Now we can see it. Yep.
That's a brass map of Tasmania. But because I didn't recoat it over that on the sample, it's tarnished. So I'll have to polish it back up.
Nice.
And that's
Very
sassafras?
nice.
Yeah, black heart sassafras.
Black sassafras. Got it.
Wow.
Very
Are you
nice.
gonna make 200 of them?
Yeah.
That'd be
You got a
fun.
while.
I was sick of them by the time it was
Have
finished.
fun doing those, Donald.
Bet.
Yeah, I did.
That'd be fun.
And
Little
I
assembly.
am excited I got a message yesterday to say my new lathe is in the container on the wharf being fumigated.
Yay! All right.
So what lathe did you get?
Excited.
A power Herald.
Pardon?
Good power Cornet Herald.
Oh, Cornet Herald. Okay, record power. Cool. Very nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, you'll like that. Good job.
Thank
All
you,
right, let's
Donald.
go to Howard. Hey, Howard.
Howard, you're up.
Hey, Howard.
You're muted, Howard.
Hey,
There you go.
hey.
Got you now.
I got a comment to make about the demo. When I'm drilling, doing a bow or a holoform, I'll drill it out first. And a good idea is to start with a small drill, then work up to larger drill, especially on wet wood. And also, you can wax the edges of your froster bit. So that's just a comment I got to make. And it'll make, if you drill them very large, if you start with a smaller bit and work up to it, you'll do much better. But anyway, I got a ornament that I made here. It's
Aww.
Oh, I like it.
That's cute.
I just went to wood and cut a sapling and drilled it out from the inside and put it on the lathe and put a little icicle on it. I think this is well, I don't know, hickory. I think hickory, and then this is oak. But anyway,
And the bird fits in it perfectly.
so that might be an ideal you can do. I do several
Love it.
with the bark edge like that. And
Nice.
I got a holoform here.
Oh my.
Wow.
This is persimmon, and the
That is
finial,
pretty.
the collar on this thing was, I don't want to break it, so I'm just trying to drill, unscrew it. But anyway, going out there. But anyway, the collar here is African blackwood, and this is holly that I dyed black. And I was afraid to try to do the spiral on blackwood because blackwood's so hard, it probably chip out or break. So this is holly dyed black lacquer and then sprayed lacquer. And so anyway.
That is gorgeous.
Very nice.
Nice.
And,
Really pretty.
The threaded tip here is Brazilian cherry.
Wow.
That holds threads real good. So that's usually what I use on my threads is Brazilian cherry. It's good and tough and hard, and it won't break out. Like
Real nice.
So anyway.
Beautiful
Nice,
work.
very nice.
Got lots of things.
Howard.
Gorgeous.
What's your finish on it?
This is antique oil, Minwax antique oil.
Antique oil.
About 5 coats on it. I
That is
like the
gorgeous.
natural. I like
How'd you cut your
natural.
finial?
Pardon?
How'd you cut your finial? Use a saw or
well,
Grass.
first I make an egg shape, and then I lay it out, and there's 4 tines on this, 4 tines, and so then I drill it out.
Okay.
And then I got a King Arthur grinder, and I work it out, each one of these out. Then I take strips of sandpaper and I put them there and sand it out. Then
It's not a quick process. It's very time consuming.
Yeah, it is.
yeah,
Beautiful though.
Gorgeous.
and you gotta be careful. And one thing is to try to make these times exactly the same size,
Mm-hmm.
and you got to get the spaces just right
Yeah.
on it. So anyway,
That's
Yeah,
pretty
definitely.
darn
Nice
good.
job on that, Doug. That's the showpiece of the vessel. That's my opinion.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Well, thank you.
We have seen some awesome work tonight.
Stuart Mortimer has books on doing spiraling like that. They're very good books, very good reads.
He's got a video on YouTube of him doing that too. So I learned to do it.
And
Who did you say, Kate?
Oh yeah.
Stuart Mortimer. He's like the master of spiral cutting.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw Stuart Mortimer a couple years ago over in over Georgia at Symposium, and I sat in 2 or 3 of his classes, and that's where I got the idea to do it. Of course, I could only understand every third word that he said, so
The accident.
so I had to sit in 3 of his classes, and I finally put all those words together and figure out what he's saying. So
That's great. That's quite a
But
heavy accent.
anyway, he's the inspiration for me doing those.
Yeah.
Right on. Nice. Thank you.
Nice.
Yes,
All right, Eddie.
It really does. Yes, sir. It's about that time. It's the witching hour. And it's tradition that we normally pull the plug about 9 o'clock Central Time. We start at 5:30. And you're welcome to join us any Wednesday night you choose. No obligations, no promises, unless you promise to do a demonstration. Then you got to deal with Dane if you back out. But we would like to have you along as we sit on a tailgate and talk about wood turning. With that, folks, thank you so much for making my day a great day. And I want to see every one of you around the shop, and I want you to be safe. Good night, John Boy.
Donald, you guys
Hey,
have
all.
to say.
Hey, Ellen.
Good night.
Good night, all.
Good
Bye
week.
for the chat.
Night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Have a great week.
Save the chat.
Save the
Talk to
chat.
you in
Hey,
a
I'll
bit.
give you a call tomorrow morning.
Auf Wiedersehen.